Douluo, Transmigrated as Huo Yuhao, encounters Zhu Zhuqing. This video is purely for entertainment, and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting, and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Special thanks to Prince Sebastian Carmel Patel for being the first 2 subscribers to my Patreon channel. I'm incredibly grateful for your support, and I look forward to continuing to bring you the best fanfiction content. Thank you for helping make this possible. Chapter 1. I'm Huo Yuhao. I traveled through time and became Huo Yuhao. Huo Yuhao, the son-in-law of the Tang clan. In the outer area of the Xingdao Great Forest on Douluo Star, Huo Yuhao woke up from his coma and looked around in a daze. Beside him, there lay a baboon about 1 meter tall and covered with brown hair. However, at this moment, the wind baboon was dead, and a white 10-year soul ring emerged from its body. The color was a little dim. Obviously, this soul ring has appeared for a long time. In an unfamiliar forest, Huo Yuhao was a little flustered, with several bloodstains on his shoulders, which were obviously left by the previous battle with the wind baboon. In a panic, Huo Yuhao saw a dagger next to the wind baboon, which was 1 foot and 2 inches long, and the handle was also 5 inches long. He injured the pain in his shoulder, and picked up the dagger, and held it tightly in his hand. Suddenly, a strange memory invaded Huo Yuhao's mind. Born in the White Tiger Duke's mansion, my mother Huo Jr. is the illegitimate son of the White Tiger Duke. Not long ago, I buried my mother, and came to the Xingdao Great Forest alone to hunt soul beasts. I encountered a wind baboon. Fuck. Huo Yuhao slapped his head, and felt a headache, when he saw the wind baboon beside him, and the white tiger dagger in his hand. I have traveled through time and space to become Huo Yuhao, and I'm still only 11 years old. In his previous life, he naturally also fell in love with the first Douluo Continent of the Tang family continent. Later, he read the second Douluo Continent with great interest. However, after reading the plot of Kyankan Asking Love Valley, he found that it had changed. After the plot of Kyankan Asking Love Valley began, Huo Yuhao's fate was completely reversed. The forced intervention of Tang Shenwang and the selection of son-in-law by the sea god became the main theme of the plot. After being repeatedly poor by Tang Shenwang, Huo Yuhao's heart was dead. In the end, he married Tang Wutong and officially became the son-in-law of the Tang clan, or a dog of Tang San. And what exactly is Tang Wutong? A stitched monster? You, the god king Tang, split your daughter into 2. One half became Wang Dongjia and the other half became Wang Qia. But Wang Qia, as an imperial auspicious beast, lived for more than 15,000 years, and was born 5,000 years earlier than you, Tang San. The auspicious beast was forced to sacrifice, and you snatched the auspicious beast's bloodline, and upgraded your daughter's martial soul into the bright dragon god butterfly. Otherwise, where did the dragon god bloodline in Tang Wutong come from? It's impossible that you, the god king Tang, were cheated by the dragon god. The dragon god bloodline is obviously from the auspicious beast, and you also got the other person's weapon, the golden dragon spear, which cannot be used without the bloodline of the auspicious beast. Finally, you said that Wang Qia is also a part of Tang Wutong. You got the advantage and still acted cute. How dare you, the god king Tang, be so shameless. Later, Huo Yuhao's love for Tang Wutong was actually deceiving himself. He loved Wang Dongjia and Wang Qia, but he didn't love Tang Wutong, who put his father first in everything. After experiencing blows again and again, he seemed to have lost his original heart and his emotions were fragile. Tang Wutong was just a phantom used as a substitute. After ascending to the god realm, Huo Yuhao changed his last name under the coercion and inducement of the god king Tang, and became De Yuhao from then on, becoming a son-in-law who could not even have a married life, and even dared not let his wife say that she loved him. Looking at Huo Yuhao's life, people feel extremely depressed, and it is better to die than to live. According to the plot, the Stardao Great Forest will be the starting point of Huo Yuhao's career as a cheater. Soon he met Cheyenne Mengai's silkworm, and became a cheater. Under the leadership of senior brother B-Boy and teacher Xiaoya, he joined Shrek Academy, and started his career as a cheater. Ice Blue Emperor Scorpion, Twin Martial Spirits, Snow Emperor, Electrolux. Any of these heaven-defying opportunities will transform an ordinary person into a super genius. But all these cheats are concentrated on Huo Yuhao alone. It can be said that with the blessing of the cheats, his future is bright, and he is many times stronger than Tang San 10,000 years ago. Tang San has achieved dual godhood, and is the master of the god realm, so his achievements will not be lower than those of the god king. However, his life is a tragedy. His beloved died tragically, and he was tortured to the point of being neither human nor ghost. In the end, he was numb, and became a lackey of the great god king Tang. None of Huo Yuhao's talents were brought by god king Tang, but in the end, he became a son-in-law of the Tang sect. There was once a young man who encountered many opportunities that defied the heavens. Through his own efforts, he eventually became the Emperor of Flame. In the most self-respecting way, he gained the recognition of his father-in-law and married his lover. Compared with Huo Yuhao, everything he has experienced is completely different. At this moment, Huo Yuhao faces two choices: join Shrek Academy, take advantage of the situation, and grow up according to the established plot. But in this way, it is inevitable to encounter Princess Tang, and be tainted with too many causes and effects with the pure and innocent God King Tang. At that time, he will not be able to escape. Or should I just join the Sun Moon Empire, and choose a path that does not intersect with the plot as much as possible? Suddenly, a terrifying wave appeared, and Huo Yuhao was nailed to the spot, unable to move. Is this? The Cheyenne Meng Ice Silkworm is about to appear. Huo Yuhao was a little excited. After all, the turning point of his first fate was when he met the Cheyenne Meng Ice Silkworm. He would obtain the unprecedented first soul ring of a million years, and wear the crown of a cheetah from then on. However, after waiting for a long time, Huo Yuhao still did not see the figure of the Cheyenne Meng Ice Silkworm. His brain was dizzy, and the things around him became illusory, as if time and space were replaced at this moment. After a long time, the scene around Huo Yuhao finally became clear, but the place here was different from where he was just now. What happened? Ding, the Son of Luck system is binding, and the binding is successful. Hello host, welcome to the Douluo Continent 10,000 years ago. System? Huo Yuhao muttered. As a cheater, do I still need a system? As a necessary golden finger for traverses, the system may be late, but it will never be absent. However, Huo Yuhao, who had reacted, was horrified. Douluo Continent 10,000 years ago. I traveled through time again, after traveling through time. Douluo Continent 10,000 years ago, isn't this the era where Tang San lived? I traveled through time, and became Huo Yuhao, and strangely lived in the same era as Tang San. ITM. This is outrageous. It's outrageous to the extreme. If Huo Yuhao had traveled through time a little later, he would have been able to meet Cheyenne Meng Ice Silkworm. This time, he lost a million-year soul ring. Not only that, Huo Yuhao will also have no chance to meet Electrolux and the two emperors of Ice and Snow. However, facing Tang San, who had not grown up 10,000 years ago, is much better than facing Tang Shenhuang 10,000 years later. Oh my god, system, can you go to hell? It's obvious that this is the system's trick. Chapter 2: Spirit Eyes Martial Soul Evolution. Huo Yuhao felt distressed that he had missed all the opportunities that he should have gotten. However, facing Tang San, who had not grown up 10,000 years ago, was much better than facing Tang Shenhuang 10,000 years later. Since I have become you, let me change everything. Huo Yuhao clenched his fists. He was a time traveler and knew the plot of Tang San's era 10,000 years ago. So Tang San, are you ready to bear the wrath? System, introduce yourself. This system is called the Luck System. The host can get rewards by attacking the Son of Luck in this world. After listening to the introduction of the system, Huo Yuhao had already understood the details of the Luck System. Simply put, if you attack the Son of Luck, you will get luck points, and the luck points can be used for lottery. The system function is very simple, but for Huo Yuhao, this is his confidence in facing his father-in-law. The novice gift package has arrived. Would you like to open it? Open it. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 million year Cheyenne Meng Ice Silkworm Soul Ring and 1 Martial Soul Evolution Potion. Upon hearing this, Huo Yuhao was stunned. He didn't expect that he could still obtain the Xian Meng Ice Silkworm Soul Ring after coming to 10,000 years ago. Although he missed it, he didn't miss it completely. Huo Yuhao came to his senses and planned to absorb this soul ring. Looking around, Huo Yuhao walked towards the outskirts of the soul hunting forest. Although the soul after the journey occupied this body, his injuries had not been fully recovered. It was very difficult to walk at this moment. Huo Yuhao gritted his teeth and insisted, and came to a jungle at the outermost edge of the Stardao Great Forest. He checked all around, and found no existence that could pose a threat to him. So he sat cross-legged, and took out the Martial Soul Evolution Potion from the novice gift package. Now he has come to 10,000 years ago. If he missed the Xian Meng Ice Silkworm, he would not have the second Martial Soul of the Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion. And Ling Mao itself is not a martial soul with strong combat power. What he needs is a powerful martial soul. Huo Yuhao drank the Martial Soul Evolution Potion in one gulp, thinking about what his Spirit Eye Martial Soul would look like after it evolved. After swallowing the Martial Soul Evolution Potion, Huo Yuhao's whole body trembled, as if his soul was shaking. An extremely mysterious power flowed through his body and finally gathered in his eyes. I don't know how long it took. Suddenly, Huo Yuhao opened his eyes, and a golden light burst out. He stood up, and the wounds on his body had healed. He felt a huge power filling his body. He was amazed at the changes in his body, especially the magic after the Martial Soul evolved. After the Martial Soul evolved, he could deeply feel that everything about him was undergoing amazing changes, especially his talent. In the past, his innate soul power was only level 1, and he had to enter a meditative state to faintly perceive the soul power between heaven and earth. But now, as long as he emptied his body and mind, his eyes could even see where the soul power was. System, open the personal panel. Huo Yuhao couldn't wait to know his current state. Ding, the personal panel has been opened. Host, Huo Yuhao. Martial Soul, Mirror Eye. Innate Soul level, level 10. Soul level, level 18. Soul Ring, none. Soul Bone, none. System Backpack, 1 million year Heavenly Dream Ice Silkworm Soul Ring asterisk 1 point. Level 18. Huo Yuhao looked at this number, and couldn't help but be shocked. After 5 years of hard training, he barely broke through to level 10. Now, after his Martial Soul evolved, his soul level jumped to level 18. It can be said that this saved him several years of hard training. In addition, his innate soul level was raised from level 1 to level 10, and he got rid of the title of waste. Now, he is already a genius with full innate soul power. In the original work, he had a level 1 innate soul power and practiced hard. With the help of BB, he swallowed the mysterious water pill, the soul rising pill, and obtained other resources, and then he gradually increased his training speed. Now, he has achieved it in one step. Full innate soul power is enough to make Huo Yuhao a top genius in any era. Huo Yuhao suppressed his excitement. His transformation was not over yet, because he still had a million-year soul ring to absorb. System, absorb the Heavenly Dream Ice Silkworm Soul Ring. As soon as the words fell, Huo Yuhao felt an incomparably huge pressure coming down from the sky, and the spiritual fluctuations that seemed to be substantial swept across the Stardao Great Forest. For a moment, the trees trembled, all kinds of birds and beasts were startled, and the roars of soul beasts continued to sound. Huo Yuhao was now in the outermost area of the Stardao Great Forest, and he might not even encounter a 10-year soul beast. Under this terrifying spiritual pressure, countless soul beasts crawled on the ground, trembling all over. A golden soul ring suddenly appeared on Huo Yuhao's body, emitting an extremely powerful aura. However, this pressure came quickly, and went away quickly. The powerful aura emitted by the golden soul ring shrank in a very short time, and finally the golden light faded, leaving only an inconspicuous white halo floating on Huo Yuhao's body. Huo Yuhao calmed down, and began to absorb the soul ring. 2 hours later, the white soul ring sank into Huo Yuhao's body. The successful absorption of the soul ring meant that Huo Yuhao had become a soul master again. He stood up, and concentrated his soul power in his eyes. His originally dark eyes suddenly turned into a dazzling golden color. Along with the appearance of his martial soul, a white soul ring appeared on his body. The white soul ring looked very inconspicuous, but it was much larger than the average 10-year soul ring. If someone thought it was a 10-year soul ring, they would definitely suffer a great loss. Huo Yuhao knew the age of the soul ring at this moment. Although it was white, its power was comparable to that of an 800-year soul ring. Moreover, with the successful absorption of the soul ring, Huo Yuhao's soul power level also increased from level 18 to level 19. Although an 11-year-old level 19 soul master was not as good as the Shrek 7 devils or those geniuses, he was already very good. Huo Yuhao was very satisfied with his cultivation. Now that he had innate full soul power, it was only a matter of time before he became stronger. Moreover, after having the system, he can get rewards by attacking Tang San, which is another way to become stronger. As for Tang San, he is naturally happy to find trouble. When Huo Yuhao was about to release his soul skills, to try out how powerful this upgraded martial soul is, he was suddenly stunned. Because this martial soul has no soul skills. Generally speaking, after obtaining a soul ring, a soul master will obtain a corresponding soul skill. Absorbing a 100,000-year soul ring can obtain 2 soul skills. Huo Yuhao absorbed a 1,000,000-year soul ring, which should produce 4 soul skills. However, now he can't release soul skills, and he can't even feel the existence of soul skills at all. This surprised him, and he couldn't help but feel a little flustered. Chapter 3, Spiritual Detection. Is there something wrong with the evolution of the martial soul? Impossible. Huo Yuhao calmed down and carefully felt his martial soul. He could feel the power of this martial soul. After all, it was able to raise his innate soul power level from level 1 to level 10. It is conceivable that this is definitely a powerful martial soul. It is impossible that there is no soul skill. Huo Yuhao suppressed his anxiety and carefully experienced the mystery of the martial soul. After a long time, he finally confirmed that this martial soul did not have soul skills. However, he was relieved because he vaguely guessed the mystery of this martial soul. The mirror pupil martial soul, unlike other martial souls, can produce soul skills by absorbing soul rings. It does not even have any attack power, because its ability is to copy. In other words, this martial soul has no soul skills, but it can copy other people's martial souls, or imprint the soul beasts it has seen, and turn them into its own martial soul. The soul ring of the mirror pupil martial soul will use the copied martial soul as a basis to produce soul skills. To give a simple example, the only martial soul that Huo Yuhao can copy now is his original spirit eye. Although the spirit eye's martial soul has disappeared, it was branded by the mirror pupil martial soul at the moment of evolution. At this moment, he can use the spirit eye's martial soul and attach the spirit ring of the 1,000,000-year-old Heavenly Dream Ice Silkworm. In his spiritual sea, there are 9 golden halos, which are the power sealed by the 1,000,000-year spirit ring. As Huo Yuhao's strength increases, the seal of these 9 halos will be gradually unlocked to enhance the power of his spirit ring. And below the 9 halos, there is a defy, which is his spirit eye's martial soul. This is a martial soul imprint, branded by the mirror pupil martial soul, and stored in Huo Yuhao's spiritual sea. He can directly transform the mirror pupil martial soul into any martial soul that he has branded. Huo Yuhao did not hesitate, and started to practice. The scene that happened next made him excited. Huo Yuhao's eyes, which were originally transformed into golden eyes by the mirror pupil, have now returned to the light blue color of the spirit eyes. And as the martial soul is transformed from the mirror pupil to the spirit eye, he can finally feel the 4 soul skills brought to him by the 1,000,000-year spirit ring. Completely consistent with the records in the original work, when the 1,000,000-year soul ring acted on the spirit eye martial soul, the use of each soul skill suddenly appeared in his mind. Mental detection, mental sharing, soul impact, and mental interference field. These 4 soul skills are the foundation of Huo Yuhao's existence in Shrek Academy in the original work. Especially the mental detection sharing formed by the combination of the 2 soul skills of mental detection and mental sharing. Without this soul skill, he would never have been able to help Wang Dong and Zio win the championship in the freshman assessment, nor would he have been accepted as a disciple by teacher Fan Yu, and he would not have been able to learn the soul guide. Now, these 4 soul skills have reappeared, and he feels a long lost sense of familiarity. Huo Yuhao was so excited to discover the power of the mirror pupil martial soul. At this moment, although he no longer has twin martial souls, the power of the mirror pupil martial soul makes it possible for him to have all martial souls. Therefore, Huo Yuhao can become the most versatile soul master, whether it is a control system, a strong attack system, or a sensitive attack system soul master. He can copy the opponent's martial soul and have the opponent's ability. Huo Yuhao immediately decided to venture into the Xingdao Great Forest. The only martial soul he could use now was the Spirit Eye. Although the Spirit Eye martial soul was powerful, its strength was only reflected in assisting teammates, and its individual combat power was not strong. Huo Yuhao did not have a partner at the moment, and did not need assistance. What he wanted was strong combat power. Therefore, he wanted to enter the Xingdao Great Forest and replicate a powerful soul beast as his martial soul. Huo Yuhao continued to release the Spirit Eye martial soul, and a white soul ring under his body emitted a faint light. He constantly released the spirit detection soul skill, because he was too weak now, and he had to be careful when entering the soul beast gathering place. With Huo Yuhao's current cultivation, the spiritual detection released by him could cover a range of 50 meters around his body. If the coverage range was gathered into a straight line, then this range could be increased. However, now was not the time to test the limit distance of the spiritual detection. He only needed to detect the direction of his own 50-meter radius to prevent the attack of soul beasts. Of course, at this moment, he was already a level 19 soul master. Although his combat power was not strong, it was enough to ensure his own safety when facing ordinary 100-year soul beasts. If he met a 10-year-old wind baboon again, he would never be nearly killed like his original self. Huo Yuhao moved towards the outer area of the Xingdao Great Forest, his thin figure faintly revealing an unyielding and tenacious attitude. Soon, he came to the place where he crossed over. Some soul beasts appeared here. However, they were all weak soul beasts of 10 years old, and many of them did not even have the ability to attack. Huo Yuhao suddenly raised his head and found a soul beast covered with white hair on the treetop not far ahead. It was the wind baboon. The wind baboon was only about 1 meter tall, with a strong body, and its white hair was 4 inches long, like silver needles standing upside down. It was another wind baboon. Huo Yuhao felt a little speechless. He and the wind baboon had a deep connection. Although the wind baboon was weak, it was very aggressive, and would attack weak humans. Huo Yuhao looked up, and looked at the wind baboon with a fierce look in his eyes. The next moment, the wind baboon on the treetop suddenly let out a shrill scream, then fell from the treetop and hit the ground hard. Its body twitched and kept screaming, as if it was in great pain. Then, blood flowed from its mouth and nose, and soon it stopped moving. A white soul ring rose from the wind baboon's body, indicating that the 10-year soul beast had died. Huo Yuhao did not stop, and continued to move forward. In the moment just now, he used the third soul skill of the Spirit Eye martial soul, Soul Shock. Perhaps because Huo Yuhao was a time traveler, his mental power was relatively strong, which allowed him to kill the wind baboon with one blow. Huo Yuhao continued to move forward. The outer area of the Xingdao Great Forest was very vast. Huo Yuhao had already gone deep into more than 10 miles. There was almost no trace of 10-year soul beasts here, and basically there were 100-year soul beasts. Fortunately, he had not yet discovered the existence of a 1000-year soul beast. He was still at the outermost edge of the Xingdao Great Forest. The 1000-year soul beasts here were extremely rare. Huo Yuhao believed that, as long as he was careful enough, he would not be unlucky enough to encounter a 1000-year soul beast. His goal was also very simple, which was to find a 100-year soul beast with relatively strong combat power, and then leave, after branding the soul mark. Compared with the 10-year soul beast, the 100-year soul beast had undergone a transformation after all, and it was relatively likely that a soul beast with a stronger bloodline would appear. And a 100-year soul beast was barely enough for Huo Yuhao to deal with now. Huo Yuhao hid behind a big tree and constantly explored the surrounding situation through spiritual detection. Within a range of 50 meters around him, there were 200-year soul beasts. One was a 200-year residual shadow leopard, and the other was a 300-year lightning bird. Both soul beasts were good at speed, and in terms of bloodline strength, the lightning bird was more powerful. The lightning bird had the potential to grow to 10,000 years, and the king of the lightning bird clan could even grow into a 100,000-year soul beast. Of course, the 100,000-year level lightning king bird had only appeared in history, and Huo Yuhao had never seen it. Without giving it much thought, Huo Yuhao decided to imprint the soul of the Zapdos. If he could use the Zapdos as his martial soul, he would be satisfied. After all, it was rare to encounter a Zapdos in this outermost area. Just as Huo Yuhao was about to take action, a tiger roar suddenly caught his attention. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 4, Evil-Eyed White Tiger. Huo Yuhao followed the direction of the tiger's roar and saw a 3-meter-long white tiger hundreds of meters away. The white tiger's hair was white with black stripes, and its eyes were extremely strange. They were double pupils, and the deep blue eyes were extremely cold. At this moment, it was lazily lying in the jungle, and it let out a low roar. This is a white tiger. Huo Yuhao was shocked. The Xingdao Great Forest really gave him surprises. He was very satisfied to meet the lightning bird, but he didn't expect to run into a white tiger at this moment. This kind of soul beast is absolutely powerful. Even as a martial soul, it is a top beast martial soul. The royal family of the Xingdao Empire, the inheritance family of the white tiger martial soul. In the original work, if Huo Yuhao's martial soul had not mutated when it awakened and turned into a spiritual eye, he would not have suffered so many disasters in the later period. If Huo Yuhao awakened the white tiger martial soul, then no matter how powerful the Duchess was, she would not dare to bully Huo Yuhao and his mother at will. The white tiger in front of him was only 400 years old, but its combat power was comparable to that of an ordinary 1,000-year-old soul beast. Huo Yuhao did not dare to be careless and approached carefully, fearing that he would alarm the king of beasts. A 400-year-old white tiger was definitely very powerful in this area. Huo Yuhao explored around it and did not see any other living soul beasts except for a few soul beast corpses. In other words, this area was completely the territory of the white tiger. Without the threat of other soul beasts, Huo Yuhao did not dare to relax at all. He was not strong enough to compete with a 400-year-old white tiger at present, so he could only look for opportunities. Huo Yuhao was fully focused, holding his breath, and approached carefully. Finally, when he was still 50 meters away from the white tiger, his mirror pupil martial soul finally responded, and was able to imprint the soul mark within this range. At this moment, Huo Yuhao retracted his spiritual eyes, and transformed his martial soul into mirror pupils. The golden eyes seemed to be cast from gold, which was very strange. The mirror pupil locked onto the white tiger, and began to continuously analyze the opponent's soul mark. At the beginning, the white tiger became restless. Its instinct told it that it seemed to be locked by an unknown existence. The white tiger stood up, and kept moving in place, scanning everything around with its cold and bloodthirsty tiger eyes. Roar. The white tiger did not find any trace of Huo Yuhao, but became even more irritated, and could not help but let out a shocking tiger roar. As the feeling of being spied on became stronger and stronger, the white tiger suddenly turned around, and looked at a place in the jungle. Huo Yuhao's whole body tensed up immediately, and the white tiger had already found his trace. Almost in the next moment, the white tiger rushed over, and the distance of 50 meters was instantly shortened. With a fierce pounce, he was about to throw Huo Yuhao to the ground. Huo Yuhao's muscles were tense, and he rolled sideways to avoid it. He has a level 19 soul power. Although the attack power of his martial soul is not strong, the soul power has a great effect on his body. Although he is only 11 years old, his physical fitness is far beyond that of an ordinary adult. He hid behind a thick tree. The next moment, a sharp claw wind came, the tree shook, and a pile of leaves fell. A deep claw mark was left on the trunk of the tree. Although Huo Yuhao dodged the attack, he could feel the sharpness of the claws. If it fell on an ordinary person, his body would probably be torn into pieces. He instantly switched his martial soul from mirror pupil to spirit eye, and released the spirit detection soul skill at the first time. Under the effect of spirit detection, Huo Yuhao found that the white tiger's movement seemed to have slowed down a lot. Although the change was very small, it gave him enough time to react. Huo Yuhao moved around in the dense forest, dodging everywhere, and constantly consuming the white tiger's physical strength. Although the effect was minimal, he didn't care about anything else. Now, his only means of attack is soul shock, and with his current mental power, he can only use it twice in a row, so he must grasp the opportunity. If these two mental shocks fail to defeat the white tiger, then he can only flee immediately. Huo Yuhao smiled bitterly. He was not familiar with this martial soul, but now he understood a little. It takes time for mirror pupil to replicate the martial spirit, and this time is definitely not short. His efforts of a few minutes just now only imprinted a small part of the soul in the sea of spirit. It will take at least a quarter of an hour to completely imprint the martial spirit of the white tiger. Even so, what makes Huo Yuhao feel powerless is that when the mirror pupil martial spirit replicates the martial spirit, the replicated object will react. If he had known this earlier, he might as well replicate the martial spirit of the lightning bird first, and then replicate the white tiger. However, Huo Yuhao will not regret it now. He and the white tiger are constantly entangled. He has no combat experience. He can only rely on the prediction of the white tiger's movements by mental detection and respond in advance. What comforts him is that, even if he is using the spirit eye martial spirit at this moment, the mirror pupil is still replicating the white tiger. While wandering around, Huo Yuhao found that 1/3 of the soul imprint belonging to the white tiger in the sea of spirit had been replicated. But at this moment, the speed of the white tiger suddenly increased, and the sharp tiger claws swept towards Huo Yuhao's head. He dodged quickly, but was still hit, leaving a shallow blood mark on his shoulder. Soul shock. Huo Yuhao suddenly gathered his mental power and rushed towards the white tiger. The white tiger suddenly stagnated, and a sharp pain came from its brain, as if it heard a clang. It fell to the ground limply, roaring continuously, and its eyes seemed to be able to spit out flames, devouring Huo Yuhao. Huo Yuhao took this opportunity to quickly distance himself from the white tiger. 3 seconds later, the white tiger stood up shakily and rushed towards Huo Yuhao again. Huo Yuhao gritted his teeth and endured the discomfort caused by using a large amount of mental power, and once again gathered his mental power to attack the white tiger. This time, the sharp pain in the white tiger's brain had not yet dissipated, and it was hit again. Finally, it couldn't hold on and fell down. This time, it fell into a state of fainting. Huo Yuhao gasped for breath. Everything that happened just now was extremely exciting for him. This battle with the white tiger was his first since he traveled through time. Before this, they had no experience. Huo Yuhao also felt the power of the spirit detection skill at this moment. It could clearly detect the white tiger's movements. Even in Huo Yuhao's eyes, the white tiger's movements were slowed down, slow enough for him to react. Huo Yuhao endured the pain in his shoulder and came to the white tiger. He activated the mirror pupil at close range and began to replicate. The white tiger was about to become his martial soul. Chapter 5, The Lost Girl, Seeking Follow-up Reading. In Huo Yuhao's spiritual sea, a tiger-shaped soul seal was forming. After successfully replicating the soul seal, he would have a powerful martial soul. Although the white tiger martial soul was not as good as Huo Gua's Ice Jade Emperor Scorpion in the original work, it was enough for a short time. Huo Yuhao was nervous and held his breath while observing the state of the white tiger, worried that it would wake up halfway. Moreover, this was always deep in the soul beast forest, and there might be other soul beasts breaking in. So Huo Yuhao had to be extremely careful. Now his mental power was almost exhausted, and he felt very tired, but he could not be distracted. Finally, the soul seal was successfully replicated. Huo Yuhao breathed a sigh of relief and planned to leave. As for the white tiger, Huo Yuhao did not intend to kill it and just left directly. There was no accident on the way out. Under the effect of mental detection, Huo Yuhao avoided the area where soul beasts appeared and carefully approached the exit of the Stardow Great Forest. After walking for half an hour, Huo Yuhao finally walked out of the range of the Stardow Great Forest, and the crisis was resolved. After 2 days of traveling, Huo Yuhao found a village. From the villagers, he learned that this was the territory of the Xingluo Empire. In this era, there were 2 major empires on the Douluo Continent, the Xingluo Empire and the Xiandao Empire. The royal family of the Xingluo Empire was the Dai family, which possessed the White Tiger martial spirit. Huo Yuhao now possessed the soul seal of the White Tiger martial spirit, and could use the White Tiger martial spirit. If he was discovered by the Xingluo royal family, he would probably be considered a member of the royal family. Of course, Huo Yuhao could not expose himself. He knew that the competition for the succession to the throne in the Xingluo royal family was very fierce at this time. If he was exposed, he might be killed. After all, the princes of the Xingluo royal family would never allow a new competitor to appear. Huo Yuhao built a simple cabin in the corner of the village and lived in the village. There were many wastelands in the village, and a small river flowed through it. As long as he was diligent, he could support himself with his own hands. He also had 7 silver soul coins on him, which could be used to buy food from the villagers, so that he could survive for a short time. Huo Yuhao opened up an acre of land in front of and behind the cabin and planted seeds. It would be self-sufficient in a few months. Moreover, Huo Yuhao was respected by the villagers because of his identity as a soul master. After all, a soul master might not appear in a village every 2 or 3 years. Huo Yuhao got along well with the villagers and received a lot of help. Of course, he also knew how to give back. Some things that were impossible for ordinary people could not be difficult for a soul master. Even if Huo Yuhao was only the lowest level 1 ring soul master, he was much stronger than ordinary people. For example, there was a dense forest near the village, and wild beasts would attack the village from time to time. After Huo Yuhao learned about the situation, he immediately took action and killed several wild beasts so that the village was no longer attacked by wild beasts. After that, Huo Yuhao spent all his time practicing except for solving the problem of eating. The most important thing for him now was to practice and become stronger. One day, Huo Yuhao shot a prey from the woods and returned to the door of his house. When he was about to open the door, he suddenly stopped. There was someone in the house. There are thieves in the village? Huo Yuhao first thought that there was a thief in his house, but this idea was quickly rejected. Because his family was poor, apart from some food, there was basically nothing valuable. Huo Yuhao immediately released a spiritual detection and could clearly feel the soul power fluctuations in the corner of the house. It turned out to be a soul master. Huo Yuhao knew very well that there were no other soul masters in this village except him. However, the soul power in the house was very weak, and it would be difficult to feel it if his spiritual power was not strong. After hesitating for a moment, he transformed his martial soul into a white tiger and completed the martial soul possession in the first time. Huo Yuhao pushed open the door and entered the room and found a figure in the corner of the room. This was a girl who looked only 8 or 9 years old, wearing a torn black dress, revealing some white skin. She was curled up at the moment, in a coma, with a tight little face full of paleness, which made people feel pity. After going out once, he returned home and found a ragged little girl hiding in his home. However, this also made Huo Yuhao feel relieved. At least the girl in front of him did not have the strength to hurt him, so she should not be an enemy. Huo Yuhao tidied up his bed, then picked up the little girl by the waist and put her on the bed. The little girl was covered with injuries. Although they were not fatal, they were not light. Moreover, she was very weak and had fallen into a coma. Huo Yuhao could see that the little girl was a soul master. The physique of a soul master was much stronger than that of an ordinary person, so he was not worried that the little girl would die. It just took time to recover. Huo Yuhao suddenly stared at the little girl's face, which seemed familiar. Could this little girl be Zhu Zhuqing? Before Huo Yuhao traveled through time, he had been exposed to novels and animations of Douluo Continent, and was naturally very familiar with several important characters in them. And Zhu Zhuqing was one of his favorite female characters. There was no way, with a pure face and a plump figure, it was hard not to love her. Chapter 6 Yuhao GG. Huo Yuhao looked at Zhu Zhuqing. His eyes were uncertain. The memories of his previous life made him deeply impressed by this girl. He even knew her very well, and knew his future. Zhu Zhuqing was one of the Shrek 7 devils, the future god of speed. Huo Yuhao suddenly had a crazy idea. If he killed her, would it be considered a blow to Tang-san, the son of luck, and could he gain luck points? Absolutely. Huo Yuhao took a step forward, and raised his right hand. There were sharp claws between his 5 fingers. He only needed to lightly scratch Zhu Zhuqing's neck to kill her, and at this moment, Zhu Zhuqing didn't even have the strength to fight back. But in the end, Huo Yuhao still couldn't harden his heart. If he did whatever it took to become stronger, he would lose himself, and what was the difference between him and the evil soul master? There are many ways to gain luck points, not necessarily to kill Zhu Zhuqing. Huo Yuhao thought, maybe by preventing Zhu Zhuqing from joining the Shrek 7 devils, he could gain some luck points. Without Zhu Zhuqing, Damubei would not have a partner to release his martial soul fusion skills, which would definitely be a big blow to the overall strength of the Shrek 7 devils. At least in the future Soul Master competition, the Shrek 7 devils would lose a trump card. Thinking of this, Huo Yuhao gave up the idea of killing Zhu Zhuqing, turned around and went to the other end of the room, sat cross-legged and began to practice. At this moment, his soul power has broken through the 19th level. With the innate full soul power talent, it won't take much time for him to break through the 20th level, and becoming a great soul master is just around the corner. As night fell, Huo Yuhao finished his practice. He now felt empty in his stomach, and was full of hunger. It was time to make some food. There were still a few dried fish on the stove of the cabin, plus a lot of vegetables sent by the villagers. Huo Yuhao planned to cook a vegetable soup, and eat some dried fish. By the way, Huo Yuhao remembered that in this era, soul masters could go to the Wuhan Hall to receive subsidies. There are 2 cities close to this village. One is Xingluo City, the capital of the Xingluo Empire, and the other is Full City. The village is located at the border of the 2 cities, which is quite remote. It's time to find time to register at the Wuhan Hall in Full City and receive the Soul Master subsidy. But it's late today, so let's go tomorrow. Huo Yuhao was thinking in his heart, and suddenly heard a light exclamation. He turned around, and found Zhu Zhuqing twisting gently on the bed, and it seemed that she had pulled the wound and let out a painful groan. Zhu Zhuqing suddenly opened her eyes, squatted up in a flash, and her muscles were tense. She stared at Huo Yuhao with a cold gaze, ready to attack at any time. "Who are you, and why are you here?" Zhu Zhuqing said in a cold tone. "This is my home. Why do you say I'm here?" Huo Yuhao wanted to laugh. "Girl, you don't understand the situation, right?" Zhu Zhuqing was stunned, and then reacted. The coldness in her eyes faded a little, and she was a little shy. It's a bit embarrassing to break into someone else's house and ask who the other person is. Zhu Zhuqing endured the pain of the wound tearing, got up from the bed, bowed slightly to Huo Yuhao, and said, "I'm sorry, I was injured, and just wanted to find a place to heal. I saw that there was no one in this wooden house, so I broke in. I'm leaving now." As she said that, Zhu Zhuqing covered the wound on her left shoulder with her right hand, and walked towards the door with a bit of disorder. "Where can you go in this state?" Huo Yuhao asked bluntly. This is my own business." Zhu Zhuqing did not look back. Huo Yuhao said, "Stay here with peace of mind, at least it's safe here. It's not too late to heal your wounds and leave. Are you willing to take me in?" Zhu Zhuqing was a little surprised. The injuries on her body were obviously not caused by ordinary people, and it can be seen that she was definitely injured by a spirit master. In this case, the other party was willing to take her in. "If you are being hunted by someone, my place is remote, and it is safe for a short time. You don't have to worry about me hurting you. After all, you are not completely incapable of fighting. Huo Yuhao said lightly. Thank you. Zhu Zhuqing said. Have something to eat. Huo Yuhao put the prepared food on the table and called Zhu Zhuqing. Thank you. Zhu Zhuqing thanked him again. Since she had already stayed, she did not refuse Huo Yuhao's food. After all, she was a little hungry now. The food Huo Yuhao made was not bad, but it was definitely not delicious. In addition to the vegetable soup, there were only a few pieces of dry and hard smoked fish. Zhu Zhuqing chewed the fish and frowned slightly. Although her situation in the family was not good, the cultivation resources and living conditions in all aspects were definitely not bad. All she had to do was to compete with her sister or to survive under her sister's hands. So it was the first time for her to eat such rough food. Of course, Zhu Zhuqing did not dislike it. It was already very rare to get food in such a situation, and she could not ask for more. Why are you looking at me? Huo Yuhao found that Zhu Zhuqing lowered her head to eat and looked up at him from time to time. I feel that you have bad intentions towards me. Zhu Zhuqing said. Huo Yuhao laughed and said, I swear to God, I just feel sorry for you, a little girl who is injured. I just want to get some luck from you. Zhu Zhuqing raised her head and looked at Huo Yuhao's appearance carefully. He didn't look like an ordinary person. Are you a soul master? Zhu Zhuqing asked. Of course, you are the only soul master in our village. Otherwise, no ordinary family would dare to take you in. Huo Yuhao said, you are a soul master. The injuries on your body must be caused by a soul master. Taking you in may lead to revenge. Chapter 7 Brother Yuhao and Sisters Yuqing. Then aren't you afraid of being retaliated against? Zhu Zhuqing's eyes were burning. Huo Yuhao spread his hands and said, I'm a person with nothing, and I'm not afraid of losing anything. Have you always been alone? Zhu Zhuqing asked. Yes, in this world, I'm alone. Huo Yuhao said bluntly. He was originally a time traveler and was sent to this era 10,000 years ago by the system, which did not belong to him at all. It seemed that they were in the same boat, and Zhu Zhuqing's vigilance against Huo Yuhao was reduced a lot. Huo Yuhao nodded and asked, how did you get these injuries? My sister wanted to kill me, and I was no match for her, so I had to escape. Zhu Zhuqing's voice was low. In the past 2 years, she has been living in fear. Although her soul power level has increased very quickly, she is no match for her sister Zhu Zhuqing because of the age gap. Whether it is a duke's mansion or the Zingluo royal family, they will not interfere with the competition between sisters and brothers. Their descendants must be the most powerful to inherit the throne of the emperor and queen of the Zingluo empire. The losers of the competition will generally be ruthlessly wiped out for the sake of national stability. Even if there are survivors, they are only those who cannot threaten the inheritance rights. Daimyo Bei and Zhu Zhuqing's innate soul power level is higher than their brothers and sisters, so they are destined to be unable to coexist. As long as Daimyo Bei and Zhu Zhuqing are given time, they are very likely to catch up and surpass Davis and Zhu Zhuqing. Therefore, for their own safety, Davis and Zhu Zhuqing naturally cannot let Daimyo Bei and Zhu Zhuqing go. My sister? Zhu Zhuqing nodded and confirmed. My sister. How much hatred and resentment between sisters to make it like this? Huo Yuhao pretended to be puzzled. The cruelty of competition within the family is far beyond your imagination. Zhu Zhuqing's eyes were red, and she seemed to be about to shed tears, but she was embarrassed to be seen by Huo Yuhao, so she could only turn her head away. Tell me how cruel it is. I also want to know what goes on in your big families. Huo Yuhao said, just consider it as a reward for me taking you in and providing you with food and lodging. Zhu Zhuqing pondered for a moment and said, this is not a secret. Anyone with a little knowledge knows it. My name is Zhu Zhuqing, and I'm from the Duke's Mansion in Zingluo City. I have a fiancé, the third prince of the Zingluo royal family, named Daimyo Bei. The competition for the throne of the Zingluo Empire is very fierce, and there is no way to avoid it between Daimyo Bei and the eldest Prince Davis. The Zingluo royal family has been married to our Duke's Mansion for generations. So my fate was tied to Daemube from the beginning, and I had to participate in this competition for the throne. Therefore, this competition is not only between Daemube and Avis, but also between me and my sister. And the age gap between Daemube and me, and my sister and Avis is too big. So even if our talents are slightly better than theirs, we are far from their opponents. Zhu Zhuqing simply recounted the relationship between the Zhu family of the Duke's Mansion and the Day family of the Xingluo royal family, as well as the cruel competition between each generation. Huo Yuhao asked, "Then why are you here alone? Where is Daemube?" Zhu Zhuqing felt a little aggrieved, and even had a little resentment when she said this. She said, "Mube left Xingluo City not long ago and disappeared. He abandoned me and chose to escape. I was the only one left in this competition. After being defeated by my sister, she sent the family guards to hunt me down. What a bastard." Huo Yuhao calculated the time and could roughly guess that Daemube was already in the Xiandao Empire. This guy is a complete coward. He knew that there was a big gap between him and Avis, so he chose to escape. But did you consider your fiancé when you left? The fate of Daemube and Zhu Zhuqing was bound together from the moment they signed the marriage contract. They needed to face the cruelty of the family together. Without Daemube, Zhu Zhuqing's situation became even more difficult. She was powerless to resist Zhu Zuan's pursuit. Otherwise, she would not have fled to a remote village dozens of miles away from Xingluo City. "Then do you still plan to go back?" Huo Yuhao asked. Zhu Zhuqing was silent for a long time, raised her head helplessly, and said, "I don't know. I will definitely be killed by my sister if I go back." "Then stay here and go back when you are strong enough." "I can't stay here forever. My sister will send people to search for my traces, and they will find here soon. I'm afraid that you will be implicated by then." Zhu Zhuqing whispered. Her attitude was very firm, and she didn't want to drag others down because of herself. Huo Yuhao said, "Then at least heal your injuries before going back." Huo Yuhao knew that Zhu Zhuqing would never die at the hands of her sister Zhu Zuan. She would rise and become a god in the future. Moreover, although the Duke's Mansion ignored the competition between Zhu Zhuqing and Zhu Zuan, and could even kill them, all this could only be done in secret. Because Zhu Zhuqing's talent was higher, it was not completely impossible for her to surpass Zhu Zuan. The family would give Zhu Zhuqing time to grow, as long as she could survive the monthly competition. Before the next competition, Zhu Zhuqing would be relatively safe. On the contrary, if Zhu Zhuqing was outside, it would give Zhu Zuan an opportunity to attack. "What about you? What's your name? How come you are alone?" Perhaps it was Huo Yuhao's concern that made Zhu Zhuqing feel the long lost warmth. She also wanted to know Huo Yuhao's situation at this moment. "My name is Huo Yuhao. I also come from a big family, but that family is gone now. My mother is a maid, and my martial soul mutated when I awakened. My innate soul power is only level 1, so I'm a waste. After my martial soul awakened, my mother and I were oppressed by the eldest lady. My mother died a year ago, and I ran away." Huo Yuhao briefly told his experience, but did not say that he was born in the White Tiger Duke's Mansion. Because the White Tiger Duke's Mansion exists 10,000 years later, and the current White Tiger martial soul is still the royal family of the Xingluo Empire. After each of them told their own experiences, the distance between them was shortened a lot. They sympathized with each other and huddled together for warmth. Zhu Zhuqing nodded gently, wiped the tears from her little face, and a touch of determination suddenly appeared in her dim eyes. "It will get better. As long as we don't get defeated and become stronger, we can change our fate." Hearing this, Huo Yuhao looked at Zhu Zhuqing in surprise. This little girl was only 8 years old, but she had a tough heart. It seemed that she was definitely not a vase to be able to become a member of the Shrek 7 Devils. Among the Shrek 7 Devils, Zhu Zhuqing's talent seemed to be the worst, but she was able to keep up with the team's pace and not fall behind. This had a lot to do with her strong character. Because she knew that being weak might lead to death, she had to practice with all her strength to become strong. Huo Yuhao stood up and touched Zhu Zhuqing's head. Zhu Zhuqing instinctively wanted to dodge, but in the end she was a little hesitant and did not dodge. I'll clean up here. You go and heal your wounds first. There is no medicine at home. I'll go out tomorrow and find some medicine for you to heal your wounds. Huo Yuhao said. Thank you, Huo Yuhao, brother. Zhu Zhuqing stood up with the help of the table and walked to the bed. But she didn't sit on the bed, she just sat cross-legged on the ground and began to practice healing. Huo Yuhao glanced at Zhu Zhuqing, still feeling a little awkward. This little girl was the ancestor of the original body, but now she called him brother. How strange. Chapter 8 Entering the City. In the morning, Huo Yuhao woke up from his training, washed up and started to prepare breakfast. At the other end of the room, Zhu Zhuqing also woke up and came to Huo Yuhao's side, saying, Brother Yuhao, can I help you with something? Huo Yuhao looked at Zhu Zhuqing and said hesitantly, how about you help me wash the vegetables? Okay. Huo Yuhao originally thought that Zhu Zhuqing, as the second daughter of the Zhu family, could not do these jobs, but he did not expect that she was quite serious about it. Although she was not skilled, she was able to complete it. After breakfast, Huo Yuhao gave instructions. You stay here and try not to go out. I'm going to the city. Douluo City? Zhu Zhuqing asked. No, I'm going to Full City and register my Soul Master information at the Wuhan Hall. If you're hungry, just make something to eat. Huo Yuhao said. Okay. Zhu Zhuqing agreed. By the way, brother Yuhao, I still have a lot of gold soul coins here. You can use them first. Zhu Zhuqing suddenly remembered and raised her right hand. There was an exquisite ring on her little finger. As the soul power was injected, the ring emitted a faint glow. The next moment, a handful of gold soul coins appeared in her hand, about 10 in total. Okay. Huo Yuhao reached out to take them. 10 gold soul coins may not seem like much, but they are enough for an ordinary family to live on for a few years. With these gold soul coins, Huo Yuhao can also help Zhu Zhuqing buy some medicine for healing. Before leaving, Huo Yuhao glanced at Zhu Zhuqing. To be honest, at the age of 8, she was just spoiled by her parents like a little princess, but she didn't expect that this girl had already experienced several life and death situations. Fuel City is more than 50 miles away from the village, so Huo Yuhao may not be able to get back in the evening after finishing his business. Fortunately, Huo Yuhao is now a level 19 Soul Master, and his physical strength is more abundant than that of an adult. Even if he doesn't use his martial soul, he can walk to Fuel City. Of course, in order to save time, Huo Yuhao used soul power amplification and rushed all the way. He set out in the morning and arrived in Fuel City in the afternoon. From the village to the city, the huge changes surprised Huo Yuhao. Full City is just a small city, far inferior to Douluo City, the capital of Douluo Empire, but you can still feel the atmosphere of prosperity. After entering the city gate, tall buildings stand in a row, and the prosperous scene forms a sharp contrast with the village. Huo Yuhao looked up and saw the tallest building in Full City at a glance, which was the Wuhan branch hall. He went straight to the entrance of the Wuhan branch hall and said to the guard at the door, "This big brother, I'm here to register my Soul Master information. Go in. On the right side of the hall, there will be a Wuhan hall deacon to guide you." The guard said, "Thank you." Huo Yuhao entered the hall and quickly found the workbench for registering Soul Master identity. Under the guidance of the staff, he filled out a form. When writing the column of soul power level, the staff took out a crystal. Inject soul power into it, and your soul power level can be detected. Okay. Huo Yuhao took the crystal and injected soul power into it. Soon, a number appeared. 19. 19th level. The staff was a little surprised and said, "Little brother, you have good talent. You have reached the 19th level at the age of 11. Huo Yuhao smiled slightly and said nothing. When Zhu Zhuqing was 11 years old, he must have become a great soul master. His soul power level was not bad compared with ordinary soul masters of the same age, but it could not be compared with a true genius. Release your soul ring. Huo Yuhao nodded, and then a white soul ring appeared under his feet. Martial Soul Eyes, Soul Power level 19th level, Soul Ring color, white. It's a pity. With your cultivation speed, absorbing 100-year soul ring is not a problem. The staff was a little regretful and suddenly said, but your 10-year soul ring is the largest I have ever seen. No matter how big it is, it's still 10 years. Huo Yuhao said. Do you have any family power behind you? If not, I can recommend you to join the Soul Master Academy of the Spirit Hall. The staff said with good intentions. He could also guess that Huo Yuhao was definitely not a child of a family. Otherwise, with his talent that could cultivate to the 19th level at the age of 11, he would never be satisfied with just a 10-year soul ring. Huo Yuhao said, thank you for your kindness, but it's not necessary. Okay, I can't force it. Please wait a moment, I'll be back soon. Okay. The staff took the form from Huo Yuhao and left. After a while, the staff returned and handed Huo Yuhao a bronze medal, saying, this is your Soul Master badge. With this, you can come here every month to receive a Soul Master subsidy of 1 gold soul coin. You are now level 19. After breaking through level 20 and becoming a great Soul Master, the monthly subsidy will be increased to 10 gold soul coins. Huo Yuhao took the Soul Master badge. The front was the logo of the Spirit Hall, and the back was engraved with the 3 words Huo Yuhao. Thank you. Can I receive this month's Soul Master subsidy now? Yes. Soon. After Huo Yuhao registered, he received a gold soul coin, and left the full city Spirit Hall. Next, Huo Yuhao wandered around Field City. He first bought 5 3 gold soul coins worth of medicine for Zhu Zhuqing, and then found a clothing store and bought 2 sets of clothes for Zhu Zhuqing. He left in a hurry this morning and forgot to ask Zhu Zhuqing if she had any clothes to change into, so he simply bought 2 sets just in case. Zhu Zhuqing's black dress had been damaged in many places and could be changed. In addition, Huo Yuhao also bought a lot of food and returned to the village with large and small bags. After all, he was not familiar with Field City, and it took a lot of time to buy things. So when Huo Yuhao returned to the village, it was already late at night. Huo Yuhao came to his door and knocked on the door. Who? A cold voice sounded. It's me. Huo Yuhao said. Hearing Huo Yuhao's voice, Zhu Zhuqing quickly opened the door. It was dark at night, and there was almost no light in the house, but Zhu Zhuqing, as a Soul Master, still had night vision. Brother Yuhao, you're back. Zhu Zhuqing quickly took the things from Huo Yuhao's hand. After putting down the food, Huo Yuhao handed the medicine and clothes to Zhu Zhuqing and said, this is a medicine for applying external injuries, and there are 2 sets of clothes. Apply the medicine first, and then change clothes. I'll wait outside the door. Thank you, Brother Yuhao. Zhu Zhuqing was very moved and thanked Huo Yuhao from the bottom of his heart. It's my duty. Go and apply the medicine. Huo Yuhao closed the door and sat at the door waiting. After a while, he heard rustling sounds in the house, accompanied by a groan of pain from time to time. Chapter 9 Fishing. The next day, Huo Yuhao woke up from his practice. The morning sun shone through the window, and the room could feel a warm glow. It was another new day. After a night of practice, Huo Yuhao could feel his soul power improving. The innate full soul power was really powerful. At this stage, Huo Yuhao could feel a very small improvement in his soul power. This feeling was a very magical thing for a soul master. Because he knew that he was getting stronger all the time, he would be full of motivation to practice meditation. Every bit of progress would inspire him to keep moving forward and strive to become stronger. However, there was still a big gap to break through the 20th level. To reach the first level of soul power, Huo Yuhao would need at least several months of hard practice. You know, Tangsun and Xiao Wu both had innate full soul power. They practiced in the Notting City Junior Soul Master Academy for 6 years, and only then did they practice from the 10th level of soul power to the 29th level of soul power. In 6 years, they improved their soul power by 19 levels, which means that they could improve their soul power by 3 points every year on average. In other words, without opportunities, even if they had innate full soul power, they would have to practice hard for 4 months. to improve their soul power by 1 level at the stage of just breaking through the Soul Master. Of course, this was partly because Tang San had to work in the blacksmith shop to earn gold soul coins, which wasted some of his training time. It seemed like 4 months was a long time, but for ordinary soul masters with low talent, it was simply too fast. Although Huo Yuhao was eager to improve his cultivation, he also knew that such things could not be rushed at all, and that he needed patience and persistent efforts to make progress. And after his soul power broke through level 20, Huo Yuhao would face another difficulty, which was how to obtain a suitable soul ring. Although Huo Yuhao only had 1 ring now, this soul ring was already 800 years old. In other words, his first soul ring was now comparable to the best second soul ring of an ordinary soul master. Huo Yuhao still remembered that in the best soul ring ratio, the first soul ring of a soul master should be around 400 years old, and the most accurate number was 423 years old, and the second soul ring was 764 years old. Of course, Huo Yuhao believed that this number was just a standard, and it depended on the soul master himself. Huo Yuhao's first soul ring is now more than 800 years old, so his second soul ring can only be more than 1000 years old. The power of the 1000-year soul beast is definitely not something Huo Yuhao can contend with now, so he needs to find a way. Huo Yuhao began to make breakfast, and Zhu Zhuqing also finished her cultivation, and came to Huo Yuhao to help. At this moment, her face was white, and she was wearing a white dress. Although the dress was not very gorgeous, it was also beautiful. It was just right for Zhu Zhuqing, not too big or too small. Huo Yuhao did not expect that the size he casually estimated would actually fit Zhu Zhuqing. After breakfast, Zhu Zhuqing continued to heal her wounds and practice, while Huo Yuhao came to the back of the hut to remove the weeds that had grown in his own fields not long ago, otherwise it would affect the growth of vegetables. Of course, this process did not take much time. After sitting, he left the house and came to the small river in the center of the village. This river divides the entire village into 2 parts, east and west. To be more precise, the village developed along this small river. At this moment, many peasant women were washing clothes by the river, and a group of children were playing by the river under the watchful eyes of adults. After seeing Huo Yuhao, the villagers all greeted him warmly. Huo Yuhao looked at this harmonious and peaceful scene, and it seemed that the anxiety in his heart was also relieved a lot. He went straight to the gentle section of the river downstream, intending to catch some fish here. The smoked fish at home had been eaten up, and now in addition to the vegetables at home, he needed to add some meat. Of course, Huo Yuhao also replenished a lot of food in Full City yesterday. Now he caught some smoked fish for emergency use. After Zhu Zhuqing recovered from her injuries and left, he would also go on a long journey. In order to improve his strength as soon as possible, he set a short-term goal in his mind that needed to be achieved. If achieved, his strength will be further improved. Huo Yuhao took off his shirt, revealing a thin figure. Although thin, he could also see clear muscle lines. The original body was very hard working in cultivation. His living conditions were not very good, but he did not lack exercise. Huo Yuhao knew that the stronger his body was, the longer he could absorb spirit rings. In order to become a strong man, he had to become strong in all aspects. Huo Yuhao jumped into the river. With the mirror pupil spirit, his vision was not affected even in the water. Moreover, after becoming a spirit master, Huo Yuhao's speed and strength had greatly improved, so it was not difficult for him to catch fish. In the river, Huo Yuhao's right hand stretched out like lightning and directly grabbed a slippery big fish. He slapped it on the rocks at the bottom of the river, knocking it unconscious, then swam out of the water and threw it directly onto the shore. One after another, Huo Yuhao soon caught 12 fat big fish. After cleaning them by the river, he carried the big fish in his clothes and returned to his home with satisfaction. Huo Yuhao lit a fire in his fire room, hung up the 12 fish, and began to smoke them. After doing everything, Huo Yuhao suddenly turned around and saw Zhu Zhuqing observing his behavior curiously at the door. Smoked fish can be stored for a longer time. Huo Yuhao explained. Zhu Zhuqing nodded, not knowing whether she understood or not. Huo Yuhao did not intend to explain. He changed into clean clothes and began to practice. Half a month passed in a blink of an eye. Zhu Zhuqing's injuries had healed, and this time she survived a disaster, which stimulated her potential and raised her soul power by 1 level. Huo Yuhao had never asked Zhu Zhuqing about her cultivation, but he could roughly guess her current cultivation level. Anyway, it was not as high as his, and should be around level 16 or 17. There was no shortage of cultivation resources in the Duke's mansion, so Zhu Zhuqing's cultivation speed was relatively fast and reasonable. After recovering from her injuries, it was time for Zhu Zhuqing to leave. Brother Yuhao, I want to go back. Zhu Zhuqing was a little sad. Although she had only been with Huo Yuhao for half a month, she was not anxious about the crisis that could come at any time during this half month, and her whole mentality seemed to be much better. If possible, she would not even want to go back to that Krill family, because when she returns there, she will face countless challenges of life and death. Her life may be in danger at any time, but although it is peaceful here, it is not far from Douluo City. Her sister must have sent family guards to look for her. If she stays here for a long time, she will inevitably be found. By then, even Huo Yuhao will be dragged down. She has suffered enough herself, so naturally she doesn't want to implicate others. Huo Yuhao said, if it doesn't work, just leave. Daimubei has already left anyway. You are at an absolute disadvantage in the competition now. At worst, I can take you away from the Douluo Empire. Chapter 10, Stealing Home in Holy Soul Village, New Book Seeking Support. The little girl said stubbornly and tenaciously, no matter what, I will go back. Without Mubei, I have to prove myself. I want to break the shackles with my own hands and grow up in desperate situations. Huo Yuhao looked at her in surprise. Zhu Zhuqing's tenacious character was somewhat beyond his expectations. It seems that Zhu Zhuqing was able to become the god of speed in the original work, and it seems that it was not entirely because of Tang Sen's help. Huo Yuhao smiled and said, I believe you can do it. Of course, if it is really impossible, you can hide here. I will be going on a long journey and will not be back in a short time. You don't have to worry about me. Brother Yuhao, where are you going? Zhu Zhuqing asked. To see the Xiandao Empire. Huo Yuhao said. Yes. Zhu Zhuqing nodded and did not ask Huo Yuhao what he was going to do. Huo Yuhao seemed a little mysterious to her. In addition, she and Huo Yuhao were practicing in the same room, and she could feel the strength of the soul power displayed by Huo Yuhao when he was practicing. Although it was unclear about Huo Yuhao's specific level, it could be inferred that Huo Yuhao was stronger than her now. And Huo Yuhao said that when he first awakened his martial soul, he was just a waste with only level 1 innate soul power. For ordinary people, being able to have innate soul power means having the possibility of becoming a soul master. Even if the achievement is limited, it is already very satisfying. But with Huo Yuhao's current soul power strength, it is obviously impossible for the level 1 innate soul power to do it. Zhu Zhuqing was very curious, but did not ask. Huo Yuhao watched Zhu Zhuqing leave. When her figure was about to disappear, a voice suddenly sounded in his mind. The system has added a favorability assessment function. The host can check anyone's favorability towards the host. When the main characters in the plot have a favorability of more than 90 for the host will receive a reward. After Huo Yuhao listened to the introduction of the system, he immediately became interested. This is another way to become stronger after snatching the luck value to get rewards. System, check Zhu Zhuqing's favorability. Zhu Zhuqing's favorability. 75. According to the system's favorability rating standard, a favorability rating of 75 is about the same as the score between good friends. Huo Yuhao was a little surprised that he had a favorability rating of 75 after only being together for half a month. But thinking about it carefully, it was normal. Huo Yuhao gave Zhu Zhuqing warmth when she was at her lowest point, and both of them had miserable experiences, so they sympathized with each other and kept each other warm. Combining these reasons, a favorability rating of 75 is really not high. However, if you want to increase Zhu Zhuqing's favorability to 90, you still need to work hard, at least to replace Daimyo Bei's position in Zhu Zhuqing's heart. While Huo Yuhao was thinking about how to improve Zhu Zhuqing's favorability, he returned to the house to pack his luggage. He was about to travel far away to the Xiandao Empire. Xiandao and Zingluo are the two most powerful countries on the Douluo Continent. The territory is very vast. If Huo Yuhao wants to reach the Xiandao Empire, it will take at least several months on foot. However, no difficulty can stop his determination to become stronger. In order to become stronger, he must work hard. At this moment, there is something in the Xiandao Empire that can make him stronger, and the risk factor may be close to 0. 4 months later, in the southwest of the Xiandao Empire, Fasno Province. After 4 months of trekking, Huo Yuhao finally arrived here from the Zingluo Empire. Of course, he did not spend all these 4 months on traveling, and he did not fall behind in cultivation. He traveled during the day, and meditated and cultivated at night, to restore his soul power. This also enabled Huo Yuhao to successfully break through level 22 months ago. However, he was not in a hurry to obtain a soul ring. He wanted to obtain a soul ring that suits him best after his strength was further improved. And this soul ring must be of the 1000-year level. Huo Yuhao came to a village, which is the Holy Soul Village. It is said that a soul saint appeared here. Huo Yuhao also knew that this small village was later renamed, called the Divine Soul Village, because a god appeared here later. Of course, I don't know if there is still a chance to change the name this time. Huo Yuhao came to the village and found a villager to talk to. Uncle, I'm from the next village. The blacksmith in our village has been sick these 2 days, and I need to make a farm tool, so I came to Shenghan village. May I ask where the blacksmith shop in your village is? Huo Yuhao asked. Little brother, you came at the wrong time. There were originally 2 blacksmiths in our village, but one of them left the village a few days ago. Now there is only one blacksmith, and this blacksmith is very busy. He needs to make farm tools for the whole village. You have to wait a few days before you can make them after paying the deposit. Huo Yuhao said, it's okay, uncle. Please show me the way. I'll go and see what's going on. Okay, walk from here to the center of the village, and you can see a blacksmith shop. It's not far away. You can ask someone along the road and you'll know. Thank you, uncle. Where is the other one? Maybe he's just gone for a few days. I'll try my luck and see if he's back. Huo Yuhao asked. It's near the back mountain of the village, but the blacksmith has a strange personality and is addicted to alcohol. If you meet him, be careful when you talk to him. Okay, thank you, uncle. Huo Yuhao walked towards the center of the village and heard the sound of forging not far away. He walked straight into the door and saw a burly man swinging a hammer to forge iron. Little brother, is there anything? The big man asked while continuing to swing the hammer after seeing Huo Yuhao. I urgently need a farm tool now. I want to know how long it will take to make it. Huo Yuhao asked. I still have 7 farm tools that have not been made. You need to wait at least 3 or 4 days. The big man said bluntly. Huo Yuhao observed the big man, and after confirming that the other party was not Tang Heo, he said, I can't wait that long. I'll go somewhere else first. Huo Yuhao left and found the back mountain of the Holy Soul Village, and found a dilapidated blacksmith shop. Huo Yuhao took a look, and was sure that this was Tang San's home, which was shabby. He walked up, and knocked on the door, shouting, is anyone there? After shouting 3 times in a row, he confirmed that no one was inside. Huo Yuhao was delighted. After confirming that no one was around, he quickly rushed towards the back mountain of the village. He was very nervous at the moment, but if he wanted to get a great opportunity, he had to take risks, even if it cost a certain price. This period of time was when Tang San left the Holy Soul Village and went to the Notting City Junior Soul Master Academy to study. It was also when Tang Heo left the Holy Soul Village to look for his lost things. So, he came to steal the house. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. we cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 11, Stealing the House Successfully. Behind the Holy Spirit Village, surrounded by mountains, Huo Yuhao searched here for 3 days and found a water curtain cave. Huo Yuhao dived directly into the water and found a cave with a strong breath of life behind the water curtain. The cave was very humid and there were blue silver grass everywhere. Especially in the middle of the cave, there was a blue silver grass that stood out from the crowd and was taller than the other blue silver grass. Next to this blue silver grass, there were messy footprints scattered around, and it can be seen that the latest footprints were also several days ago. Huo Yuhao also found a few simple wine bottles, and there was not a drop of wine left in them. He took out a flower pot from his bag, dug up the blue silver grass directly with his hands, and transplanted it into the flower pot. With his excited heart and trembling hands, Huo Yuhao completely held his breath at this moment. After quickly completing the transplant, Huo Yuhao put the flower pot into his bag. He continued to dig, completely digging the cave upside down, but there was no other harvest. Huo Yuhao remembered that the soul bone of the blue silver emperor was also buried in this place. He thought that there would be 2 major gains, but he didn't expect that the soul bone was not buried here. Maybe it was left on Tang Heo. Huo Yuhao didn't hesitate. Being able to obtain the blue silver emperor was already a huge gain. He went straight out of the water curtain cave, found a direction, and started to rush. After running wildly for 3 days and 3 nights, Huo Yuhao finally dared to slow down. At this moment, he was already 500 miles away from the Holy Soul Village. Until this moment, the excitement in his heart was slightly reduced. Huo Yuhao opened up a hidden cave in the wild forest. In the cave, Huo Yuhao took out the flower pot and held it in front of his chest with both hands. I actually succeeded. Huo Yuhao was still a little bit unbelievable at this moment. He originally just came to try his luck, but he didn't expect that the blue silver emperor was really found and taken away by him. Yes, this plant, which is taller than ordinary blue silver grass, is the king of blue silver grass, the blue silver emperor. That is Tang San's mother Yin, the woman that Haoshan Douluo Tang Heo loves most in his life. Of course, at this moment, the blue silver emperor is no longer a 100,000-year-old beast. About 10 years ago, the Spirit Hall Pope Khan Zunji led 2 elders of the Spirit Hall, Zhu Douluo and Ghost Douluo, to hunt down Tang Heo of the Haoshan sect. What they wanted was the soul bone of the 100,000-year-old soul beast blue silver emperor beside Tang Heo. Later, the blue silver emperor was forced to sacrifice, and Tang Heo obtained the 100,000-year-old 9th soul ring, and became the youngest titled Douluo recognized on the continent at that time, with the title of Haoshan. After being promoted to titled Douluo, Tang Heo fought his way out of the siege, severely injured the Pope Khan Zunji, and lived in seclusion in the Holy Soul Village with his newborn son Tang San. As the most powerful plant in the Douluo Continent, the blue silver grass will leave seeds even after the sacrifice of their emperor, the blue silver emperor, which can take root and sprout. Tang Heo buried the seeds of the blue silver emperor near the Holy Soul Village, just to wait for the blue silver emperor to transform again and reunite with his wife. However, it takes 100,000 years of cultivation for a soul beast to transform. It is unknown how long it will take for the blue silver emperor to cultivate from a seed to 100,000 years of cultivation. In any case, Tang Heo probably won't be able to wait for dozens of reincarnations. In the original novel, Tang San trained on the Sea God Island and obtained the Sea God Trident. With the help of the Sea God's light, he catalyzed the growth of the blue silver emperor. In the end, the blue silver emperor successfully transformed and reunited with Tang Heo. Now, the blue silver emperor has been poached by Huo Yuhao. I wonder if Haoshan Douluo Tang Heo will go crazy because of this. Ding, the host poached the blue silver emperor. Tang San's luck value decreased by 10,000, and the host gained 100,000 luck value. Huo Yuhao was very surprised by the ratio of 1 to 10. He didn't expect that he could get 100,000 luck value after poaching the blue silver emperor. It was enough to open a silver treasure chest once, or 10 consecutive bronze treasure chests. In the dark cave, the blue silver emperor exuded a faint blue halo, giving people a dreamlike feeling. Huo Yuhao took out the dry food he had prepared, filled his stomach, and entered a meditative state in the cave. For the past 3 days, his nerves were tense, and he had been running wildly. He was exhausted, and his soul power was exhausted. He needed to restore his soul power through meditation, before he could continue on his way. Huo Yuhao didn't dare to stay for long, because he didn't know whether Tang Hao had the means to lock the location of the blue silver emperor, so he could only continue to stay away from the holy soul village. 3 hours later, Huo Yuhao woke up from meditation and saw the blue silver emperor in front of him shaking slightly. His eyes lit up with golden light, and the mirror pupil martial soul was activated at the first time. Huo Yuhao couldn't wait to copy the blue silver emperor and use it as his own martial soul. The blue silver grass is recognized as a useless martial soul in Douluo Continent, but the blue silver emperor is not. This is a top level martial soul, and in terms of martial soul quality, it is no less than the clear sky hammer. It is even more powerful than the white tiger that Huo Yuhao now controls. Tang San's blue silver grass has the blood of the blue silver emperor, which is why it can be so powerful. In the later period of Tang San, after the blue silver grass awakened to the blue silver emperor, his strength soared, and it was difficult to find an opponent in the same level. And now, Huo Yuhao is about to master this top level martial soul. Compared with the white tiger, the soul seal of the blue silver emperor is the appearance of a grass. It seems simple, but the time to replicate is much longer than that of the white tiger. After a long time, the soul seal was successfully replicated. Huo Yuhao stood up. He raised his right hand, and a crystal clear blue silver grass appeared between his palms. Compared with the blue silver emperor's body, the blue silver grass in Huo Yuhao's palm had a touch of gold. At the same time, 4 soul skills emerged in his mind. Huo Yuhao's first soul ring is 1,000,000 years, so the 3 martial souls he now masters also have 4 soul skills. Although he is only a soul master now, the number of soul skills is enough to compare with ordinary soul masters. 4 soul skills make his combat power far exceed that of soul masters of the same level. In a short battle, Huo Yuhao is even confident that he can defeat the Soul Lord. His soul power does not support him to fight for a long time. Although being able to use 4 soul skills is very powerful, it also consumes a lot of soul power. Huo Yuhao now has a soul power level of 20 and can only use 4 soul skills once. Especially the blue silver emperor, as a top level martial soul, releasing soul skills consumes a lot of soul power. Blue silver emperor martial soul, the first soul skill in 1,000,000 years. Blue silver overlord spear, blue silver stab. What surprised Huo Yuhao was that these 4 soul skills were not exactly the same as Tang San's blue silver grass soul skills. Especially the blue silver overlord spear, which is Tang San's 5th soul skill, became the first soul skill of Huo Yuhao's blue silver emperor martial soul. Moreover, after Huo Yuhao's soul power broke through level 20, his first soul ring could now have the power of 1,000 years. It is equivalent to him now having 4,000 year soul skills. Huo Yuhao did not test the power of the 4 soul skills of the blue silver emperor, because he could roughly estimate it. The most important thing now is to continue to stay away. He put the blue silver emperor away, carried it on his back, and continued to run wildly towards the direction of the Zingluo Empire. A month later, Huo Yuhao entered the territory of the crossing Luo Empire. However, he did not return home directly, but headed towards the crossing Dao Great Forest in the territory of the crossing Luo Empire. The crossing Dao Great Forest is the largest gathering place for soul beasts on the Douluo Continent. There are countless soul beasts living there, and there are many powerful soul beasts that are thousands, tens of thousands, and hundreds of thousands of years old. This also makes the crossing Dao Great Forest full of dangers and a forbidden place for soul masters. However, if soul masters want to hunt soul beasts and obtain soul rings, it is difficult to bypass the crossing Dao Great Forest. At this moment, Huo Yuhao is going to the crossing Dao Great Forest to obtain his second soul ring. Chapter 12 Three-Eyed Demonic Fox. Mirror pupil is a spirit attribute martial soul, so Huo Yuhao needs to find a spirit attribute beast that is more than 1000 years old. However, spirit attribute beasts are so rare that, although there are 1000-year-old spirit beasts in the general small hunting soul forest, it is difficult to see the traces of spirit attribute beasts. Therefore, Huo Yuhao can only try his luck in the Stardow Great Forest. With his current strength, he dare not go deep into the interior of the Stardow Great Forest, and can only search on the periphery. Outside the Stardow Great Forest, Huo Yuhao stepped into the Stardow Great Forest. After eating and drinking, the spirit detection was launched. Huo Yuhao's current spirit detection was enough to cover a radius of 100 meters, and the straight line distance could reach 150 meters. This is closely related to his hard training in the past few months. He not only cultivates soul power, but also constantly tempers his spiritual power. After Huo Yuhao finishes his training every day, he will release the spirit detection, constantly expanding, constantly trying, and breaking through his limits again and again. After each breakthrough, he will feel mentally exhausted and dizzy. If it weren't for his strong willpower, he would have wanted to fall asleep instead of meditating to restore his mental strength. This was Huo Yuhao's second time entering the Stardow Great Forest. However, he did not dare to be careless at all, and was always careful. Even in the outer areas, there would be dangers. But now he was only a first-ring soul master, too weak, without the protection of a strong person, and could only rely on himself. So he couldn't be careless, and kept searching in the outer areas of the Stardow Great Forest, not daring to go deeper. The Stardow Great Forest was extremely vast, even the outer areas were very wide. In Huo Yuhao's spiritual detection, traces of 1000-year soul beasts had appeared. Although the number could not be compared with 100-year soul beasts and 10-year soul beasts, he knew that this part of the area was relatively safe for him. If he continued to go deeper, he might see soul beasts over 3000 years old. Suddenly, a sharp claw wind came, and Huo Yuhao felt his cheek was scratched and hurt. But he was obviously prepared, and he dodged sideways. A 3-meter-long soul beast appeared in front of him. It was a two-headed demon wolf, or 1000-year level, with a strong bloodline and strong strength. However, it was not suitable as his martial spirit, because the two-headed demon wolf was of wind attribute, not spiritual attribute. However, Huo Yuhao had to be careful. This two-headed demon wolf had long appeared in the range of his spiritual detection, hiding in the dark, waiting for an opportunity to attack, wanting to kill Huo Yuhao with one claw. However, even if Huo Yuhao did not turn his head, he could clearly detect the movements of the two-headed demon wolf and easily evaded it. This soul beast was not his target, so Huo Yuhao did not intend to entangle with it. Although he was confident that he could defeat the opponent, it was inevitable that the movement of the battle would attract other soul beasts. Once surrounded, it would be difficult to escape. So, the white soul ring under Huo Yuhao's feet suddenly lit up, and a golden sharp light flashed in his eyes. Soul shock. Huo Yuhao condensed his spiritual power into a sharp sword light, and pierced directly into the brain of the two-headed demon wolf. Roar. The figure of the two-headed demon wolf that was about to pounce suddenly stopped. It let out a scream, and its brain seemed to be pierced. The severe pain made it stiff in place. Huo Yuhao also took this opportunity to rush directly into the depths of the dense forest. It was obvious that a soul shock could not kill the two-headed demon wolf directly, and Huo Yuhao did not use his full strength in this soul shock, but just wanted to stun it. Huo Yuhao continued to move forward, and encountered other 1000-year soul beasts on the way. Some soul beasts were very aggressive and directly attacked Huo Yuhao's unintentional intrusion. Huo Yuhao's response method was exactly the same. He stunned them with a soul shock, and then ran away. Even so, after several times, Huo Yuhao felt that his mental power was too much, and needed to rest. He had been searching in the Stardow Great Forest for a whole day, and he did not find any traces of spiritual attribute soul beasts. It seemed that, if he wanted to obtain the second soul ring, he had to prepare for a protracted war. Fortunately, before entering the Stardow Great Forest, he bought enough dry food in a nearby town, and he saved enough to last for half a month. 3 days later, Huo Yuhao still did not find any traces of spiritual attribute soul beasts. It seemed that there was a reason why the spirit of the spiritless eye martial soul was disliked. The spirit eye's martial soul is not weak, but Huo Yuhao's innate soul power is too low, and there are too few soul beasts with spiritual attributes, so it depends on luck. Huo Yuhao has not rested well in the past 3 days, which makes him a little bit bad now. After all, he is in the Stardew Great Forest, where dangers are lurking everywhere, and he may encounter danger at any time. Huo Yuhao is alone, and has no companions, so he must always be vigilant. Even at night, there are many soul beasts active at night in the Stardew Great Forest, so even when Huo Yuhao is meditating, he must pay attention to the surrounding situation. It's difficult. Huo Yuhao sighed. In the original work, his second soul ring came from a 1,000-year-old ice silkworm soul beast. However, this kind of soul beast only exists in the far north, and there is no such soul beast in the Stardew Great Forest. Maybe when I get the third soul ring, I can consider going directly to the far north. Huo Yuhao muttered. Ice silkworms are soul beasts with spiritual attributes, which are not uncommon in the far north. However, this kind of soul beast is relatively weak, and even at the 1,000-year level, it does not have combat effectiveness. The combat effectiveness of the million-year-old Cheyenne Meng ice silkworm can only be compared with that of an ordinary 10,000-year soul beast. It is conceivable how weak this soul beast is. It is really lucky that Cheyenne Meng ice silkworm can grow to 1,000,000 years. At noon 2 days later, Huo Yuhao was still looking for a soul beast with spiritual attributes. Suddenly, during the spiritual detection, Huo Yuhao saw a tall tree 80 meters ahead. On a thick branch of the tree, a soul beast was crawling. It has white hair with purple stripes. It is not big, only more than 1 meter long. This is a fox. But what is surprising is that this fox actually has 3 eyes. Especially the eye on the forehead, which is flowing with a purple halo and looks very magical. 3-eyed demon fox. Huo Yuhao was overjoyed immediately. The 3-eyed demon fox is a soul beast with spiritual attributes. After searching in the Zingdao Great Forest for 5 days, he finally found a soul beast that suits him. But Huo Yuhao was soon disappointed. This 3-eyed demon fox did not reach the 1,000-year level. Chapter 13 Obtaining the second ring. The cultivation level of this 3-eyed demon fox is probably between 800 and 900 years, and it is still a long way from 1,000 years. The best target for Huo Yuhao's trip is a spiritual attribute soul beast of about 1,500 to 1,600 years. What a pity. Huo Yuhao felt a little regretful. He finally found a spiritual attribute soul beast, but the age was not suitable, which made him a little discouraged. However, before stepping into the Zingdao Great Forest, he had already made preparations. Therefore, Huo Yuhao regrouped and planned to move forward to find other spiritual attribute soul beasts. Just as he was about to leave, an animal's woo sounded. Huo Yuhao was immediately refreshed. This was the call of the 3-eyed demon fox. There are too many types of soul beasts, and many soul beasts cannot be distinguished by just listening to the sound. But Huo Yuhao had just seen a 3-eyed demon fox, so it was naturally easier to distinguish its call. Huo Yuhao followed the direction of the sound, and actually found a larger 3-eyed demon fox deeper in the dense forest. This turned out to be a 3-eyed demon fox about 1,500 years old, and it was a size larger than the previous one. At this moment, Huo Yuhao was less than 30 meters away from the 3-eyed demon fox. He approached carefully and released spiritual detection at all times to detect whether there were other soul beasts around. Very good, the second soul ring has been found. Huo Yuhao was secretly excited. There were other soul beasts near this dense forest, but their cultivation was not more than 1,000 years old, and they could not pose a threat to the battle that would take place soon. Huo Yuhao continued to approach. When he was less than 10 meters away, the 3-eyed demon fox suddenly turned around and looked at where Huo Yuhao was. Suddenly, it moved. However, it did not attack Huo Yuhao, but ran away in the opposite direction of Huo Yuhao. Obviously, this kind of soul beast is extremely intelligent and has a keen sense of danger. because as a soul beast with spiritual attributes, its intelligence is obviously higher than that of ordinary 1000-year-old soul beasts, and it is very alert. Once there is a possibility of danger, they will put themselves first. The three-eyed demon fox's movements were clearly captured by the spirit detection. Huo Yuhao did not hesitate, and instantly launched a soul attack. Other three-eyed demon fox let out a shrill scream, and its body fell directly to the ground, sliding several meters away. Huo Yuhao rushed forward and suddenly a blue-silver grass emerged from his palm. Before he caught up with the three-eyed demon fox, he stretched out his palm and a thick blue-silver vine shot out like a javelin, heading towards the three-eyed demon fox. At the same time, in the Xingdao Great Forest, the blue-silver grass covering the ground suddenly grew rapidly and grew into thick vines, binding the three-eyed demon fox. However, Huo Yuhao's blue-silver entanglement was not like Tang San's. It was completely the ability of the martial soul itself, and could be used without soul skills. This tested the controllability of the martial soul. In addition, Huo Yuhao's blue-silver emperor was as tough as a rope, and it was difficult for soul masters of the same level to break it. At this moment, it bound the three-eyed demon fox, and it could not break free in a short time. The cultivation level of this three-eyed demon fox is about 1500 to 1600 years old, and it is currently the most suitable existence to be Huo Yuhao's second soul ring. However, its cultivation level is obviously comparable to that of an ordinary soul master, and it is not so easy to deal with. The reason why it can be tied up so easily at this moment is entirely because of the soul shock that Huo Yuhao just made, which made it feel so painful that it was almost dizzy. However, as a spirit attribute soul beast, its spiritual power is stronger than other soul beasts of the same age. The fact that it did not faint immediately after Huo Yuhao's soul shock is enough to prove this point. If Huo Yuhao only had the spirit eye martial soul, I'm afraid that, even if he could defeat this three-eyed demon fox, he would not be able to kill it. But in addition to the spirit eye, Huo Yuhao also has two martial souls, the white tiger and the blue-silver emperor. The white tiger is a top-level strong attack martial soul, and the blue-silver emperor is a top-level control martial soul. It can be said that these two martial souls are enough to kill this three-eyed demon fox. Huo Yuhao immediately controlled the three-eyed demon fox. Thick blue-silver grass is wrapped around the three-eyed demon fox like a zangzi, making it impossible to escape. The blue-silver grass contracted and brought the three-eyed demon fox to Huo Yuhao. He looked at the soul beast tied up, leaving only half of its head outside, and a smile appeared on his face. Huo Yuhao took out the white tiger dagger and inserted it directly into its throat amid the three-eyed demon fox's continuous roar. Not long after, a purple soul ring rose. Huo Yuhao did not hesitate and dragged the body of the three-eyed demon fox towards the outermost edge of the Stardao Great Forest. It was a very dangerous thing to absorb soul rings in the Stardao Great Forest without a companion or partner to protect him. Although Huo Yuhao was sure that he could respond when the crisis came, this would undoubtedly interrupt the absorption of the soul ring, wasting a precious soul ring in vain. He did not leave the Xingdao Great Forest, but found a very secret rock crevice. After a simple cover-up, he began to absorb the spirit ring. After the death of the spirit beast, the spirit ring that appeared will not exist for more than an hour, and the longer it is stored, the more the spirit power contained in the spirit ring will continue to dissipate. Therefore, Huo Yuhao must hurry up to absorb it. In the rock crevice, Huo Yuhao sat cross-legged in a rather uncomfortable position, and began to absorb the spirit ring. The crevice was not big. After squeezing in a three-eyed demon fox, there was not much space left for Huo Yuhao. But who said that this place was secret enough? The process of absorbing the spirit ring was not smooth. Huo Yuhao's physical strength was not outstanding, but his mental strength was extremely strong. Therefore, even if he absorbed a spirit ring that exceeded his own endurance, he could still grit his teeth and persevere. 2 hours later, the spirit ring on the corpse of the three-eyed demon fox was completely absorbed into Huo Yuhao's body. At this moment, two spirit rings, one white and one purple, appeared on his body. Since then, Huo Yuhao has become a two-ring great spirit master. Huo Yuhao walked out of the crack between the rocks. He had been sitting cross-legged in an awkward position for a long time, which caused him to have some back pain. He moved around for a long time before he recovered. He looked at the two spirit rings on his body and felt satisfied. Huo Yuhao knew that in the Douluo Continent 10,000 years ago, except for the twin martial spirits, even Qian Ringsu, who had an innate spirit power of level 20, had a second spirit ring of only 100 years. And this step of his could be said to be ahead of an era. At least, whether it is now, or 10,000 years later, the best spirit ring ratio recognized by the Great Spirit Master is 200-year spirit rings. However, in the original work, in Shrek Academy 10,000 years later, in addition to Huo Yuhao, his rumored Wandong's second spirit ring also reached 1,000 years, which can be said to be gifted. System. Open the personal panel. Chapter 14. Brother Yuhao is not simple. Ding, ding. The personal panel has been opened. Host. Huo Yuhao. Martial Soul. Mirror Pupil. Soul Seals. Spirit Eye. White Tiger. Blue Silver Emperor. Innate Soul Power Level. Level 10. Soul Power Level 22. Soul Rings. White. Purple. Soul Bones. None. System Backpack. None. Not only did he obtain the second soul ring and become a great soul master, but his soul power was directly raised to level 22. A level 2 great soul master who is less than 12 years old. I think with his cultivation, he should be able to pass the assessment of Shrek Academy. Huo Yuhao muttered in his heart. Of course, Huo Yuhao did not intend to join Shrek Academy. Apart from various other reasons, he was afraid that he would not be able to help but give Tangson a big fight after seeing him. The goal of this trip has been perfectly achieved. Huo Yuhao did not want to stay in the Stardao Great Forest for a long time. He walked straight out of the Stardao Great Forest and strode towards his home. On the way back, his steps were brisk and calm. Half a month later, Huo Yuhao returned to his home. It took nearly half a year to go out this time, but compared with the harvest, this time was completely worth it. He not only obtained the top martial spirit Blue Silver Emperor, but also dug up the body of the Blue Silver Emperor. Huo Yuhao took out the Blue Silver Emperor from his bag and placed it by the window so that it could enjoy the sunlight. After not staying at home for half a year, Huo Yuhao found that there was only a light layer of dust in the room, which meant that someone had been there in the short term. Therefore, Huo Yuhao only spent half an hour to clean up the house inside and out. Afterwards, he came to the field behind the house, which was now overgrown with weeds. However, since he now has a stable income, a soul master subsidy of 1 gold soul coin per month from the spirit hall, Huo Yuhao is too lazy to clean it up. The soul master subsidy from the spirit hall is enough for him to live, and the time for growing vegetables should also be used for cultivation. His strength has improved fast enough, but he is still not satisfied. He needs to become stronger. Only by becoming stronger can he complete his revenge. 7 days later, at night, a petite figure suddenly sneaked into Huo Yuhao's hut, and he woke up from his cultivation state immediately. The night was dim, but Zhu Zhuqing could still recognize that the person in the room was Huo Yuhao. Brother Yuhao, you are finally back. Zhu Zhuqing was somewhat delighted. Huo Yuhao discovered that Zhu Zhuqing was injured and had obviously been defeated in the duel again. However, this time was much better than the last time Huo Yuhao met her. At least Zhu Zhuqing did not faint from weakness. How did you become like this again? Huo Yuhao frowned slightly, looking at the little girl in front of him with sympathy. It's much better than before. At least I'm making progress. Zhu Zhuqing was obviously much more optimistic this time than before. Although every time she fought, she would end up miserably and be brutally beaten by her sister Zhu Zhuqing, she was able to grow in the fights and constantly accumulate experience. Her cultivation was insufficient, and she simply could not surpass her sister in a short period of time, so she would have to work hard in other areas. Protecting herself as much as possible has become Zhu Zhuqing's current goal. In the nearly half a year since Huo Yuhao left, she has fought with her sister 5 times, and the one a day ago was the 6th. During these 6 fights, the injuries she suffered became lighter and lighter, and sometimes she could even fight back. This made Zhu Zhuqing gradually build up confidence in herself. She believed that, as long as she could survive, she would be able to surpass her sister Zhu Zhuqing one day. Sometimes, showing weakness to the enemy is also a way to protect yourself. Huo Yuhao reminded. The faster Zhu Zhuqing's strength improves, the greater the threat to Zhu Zhuqing. Perhaps in order to kill Zhu Zhuqing, she will be more unscrupulous. Therefore, Huo Yuhao reminded Zhu Zhuqing that she could try to show weakness to the enemy, try to protect herself, and hide her true strength. When the accumulation is deep enough, she may be able to make a big splash. Upon hearing this, Zhu Zhuqing nodded as if she understood, obviously not quite understanding what Huo Yuhao meant. For her, the most important thing now is to work hard to improve herself, and then in the monthly duel, show her strength, gain the attention of the family, and her life safety can be guaranteed. However, Zhu Zhuqing will not give Zhu Zhuqing the opportunity to rise completely. Huo Yuhao did not explain in detail, because the future god of speed is Zhu Zhuqing, not Zhu Zhuqing, which is enough to explain the problem. Zhu Zhuqing's advantage is that she is many years older than Zhu Zhuqing, and has practiced for many more years than Zhu Zhuqing. However, Zhu Zhuqing's talent is no match for Zhu Zhuqing, otherwise she would not have been so deliberate in wanting to kill Zhu Zhuqing when she was weak. Do you have any medicine with you? Huo Yuhao asked. Yes, during the time you were away, I would hide here to heal every time I was injured, Zhu Zhuqing said. Huo Yuhao was slightly stunned. He came here so many times? Isn't it because he is afraid that his place will not be exposed? Huo Yuhao decided to move in after a while. After all, Zhu Zhuqing would come here secretly every month to heal her injuries and stay for a few days. With the power of the Duke's mansion, it would not be difficult to find out where Zhu Zhuqing went. Go heal your wounds first. I also want to start practicing, Huo Yuhao said. Okay, brother Yuhao. Zhu Zhuqing nodded obediently. Huo Yuhao gave up his bed, sat cross-legged on the ground, and entered a meditative state the next moment. Zhu Zhuqing was obviously a little surprised at the speed of Huo Yuhao entering a meditative state in 1 second. Her innate soul power is at level 7, and her talent is definitely not bad, but in order to enter a meditative state, she also needs to adjust her state for a while, and Huo Yuhao obviously skipped this process. Brother Yuhao doesn't seem to be simple either. Zhu Zhuqing guessed secretly in her heart. She was very close to Huo Yuhao, and could clearly observe Huo Yuhao's cultivation state, and naturally could feel his aura. Compared with half a year ago, brother Yuhao has become much stronger. Could it be that he has already reached the second ring? Zhu Zhuqing was shocked, and was obviously surprised by Huo Yuhao's cultivation speed. Because Huo Yuhao once said that one of the most important reasons for his previous tragic experiences was that his innate soul power was only level 1, and it would be difficult for him to achieve anything in his entire life. But now, Huo Yuhao is only 11 years old, less than 12 years old, and he is already a 2-ring soul master. Of course, Zhu Zhuqing is confident that she will definitely be able to break through the second ring when she is 11 years old, but compared to Huo Yuhao's innate soul power of level 1, this cultivation speed is really too amazing. Unless Huo Yuhao's innate soul power is not level 1, or in other words, Huo Yuhao's innate soul power is no longer level 1. Although Huo Yuhao entered a meditative state, due to his extremely strong mental power, he could clearly perceive the movements around him. In particular, the panting and groaning caused by the pain really affected his cultivation. Chapter 15 Zhu Zhuqing's Favorability 1. The next day, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing had breakfast together. After you leave this time, I will move out of here and live somewhere else, Huo Yuhao said bluntly. Zhu Zhuqing was stunned for a moment, but then she reacted. She looked at Huo Yuhao apologetically and said, Brother Yuhao, I'm sorry for causing you trouble. It has something to do with you, but I don't blame you. It doesn't matter where I live. You can come to me if you want to in the future. Huo Yuhao smiled. Although Zhu Zhuqing's frequent visits to him may increase the risk of him being exposed, if Zhu Zhuqing knew that he had been providing shelter for Zhu Zhuqing, she would probably be angry with him. But compared to the system rewards he would get after his favorability increased to 90, after conquering Zhu Zhuqing, he could obviously accept this risk. From the novice gift package, Huo Yuhao obtained the soul ring of the million-year-old Cheyenne Meng Ice Silkworm and the martial soul evolution potion, which shows that the system must have made a big move. Therefore, Huo Yuhao was very much looking forward to the system rewards he would get after conquering Zhu Zhuqing. Okay, brother Yuhao. Zhu Zhuqing was very moved. She looked at Huo Yuhao's eyes with a cold gaze. She could see from his clear eyes that what Huo Yuhao said was completely from the heart, and he did not dislike her at all. Zhu Zhuqing, favorability +1. Zhu Zhuqing, favorability +1. Zhu Zhuqing, favorability +1. Current favorability 78. The system suddenly sounded a prompt, and Huo Yuhao was immediately surprised. He did not expect that just one sentence could increase Zhu Zhuqing's favorability. Ding, Zhu Zhuqing, one of the Shrek 7 devils, has a higher favorability. Tang-san, the son of luck, has a lower luck value of 300. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 3000 luck points. Another system prompt sounded. It turned out that the characters who had a close relationship with Tang-san in the original work could also gain favorability after their favorability with Huo Yuhao increased. It seems that there are many ways to obtain luck points. This time, Zhu Zhuqing did not stay for long and left after 3 days. Her injury was not serious this time. She had completely recovered in 3 days and her strength had improved. She told Huo Yuhao that maybe the next time they met would be a few months later, because her soul power level had reached level 19 and would soon be able to break through level 20. At that time, she would go to the Soul Beast Forest to obtain the second soul ring under the guidance of the family elders. After 3 days of getting along, Zhu Zhuqing's favorability did not continue to increase, and it was still 78 points, but Huo Yuhao did not care. Although Huo Yuhao was also curious about what kind of rewards he could get after his favorability broke through 90, there was still a long time and there would be many opportunities to increase favorability in the future. After Zhu Zhuqing left, Huo Yuhao went out again. A cry of surprise suddenly sounded in the Wuhan branch hall of Full City. Purple Soul Ring, how is it possible? Huo Yuhao was in the Wuhan branch hall at this moment, undergoing a Soul Master level assessment. He had already broken through the second ring and needed to re-register his information. When he showed his second purple soul ring in front of the staff, the scene just now happened. Little brother, how did you do it? You have a 1000-year spirit ring at the level of a great spirit master. The staff was very unbelievable and thought it was impossible. The second spirit ring is a 1000-year level. What a joke. In the staff's cognition, the best spirit ring ratio for a great spirit master is 200-year spirit rings. No spirit master can absorb a 1000-year level spirit ring when he is promoted to a great spirit master, unless he has twin martial spirits. Of course, with the staff's level and the rarity of twin martial spirits, he can't get in touch with the spirit master with twin martial spirits. Therefore, Huo Yuhao's far out of normal spirit ring ratio really shocked him. Soon, at the request of the staff, an old man in a spirit hall robe appeared in the hall and hurriedly walked towards Huo Yuhao. My friend, I'm the master of the Fuel City Spirit Hall, Zhuqing. Can you show your spirit ring again? The old man came to Huo Yuhao and his tone was very urgent. Huo Yuhao smiled bitterly. Although he had expected this situation to happen, he had to take the risk for the Soul Master subsidy of 10 gold soul coins. Huo Yuhao needed money now, not only to ensure his living expenses, but also for other purposes. To obtain gold soul coins, the easiest way at this stage is to receive the monthly Soul Master subsidy from the Wuhan Hall. Although 10 gold soul coins are not much, they are enough to solve his current needs. Huo Yuhao released his 2 soul rings again, 1 white and 1 purple. The white one is inconspicuous, while the purple one is somewhat noble. Zhuqing was shocked when he saw the 2 soul rings on Huo Yuhao's body, and his pupils shrank. He murmured, "How is this possible?" Obviously, he still couldn't accept why a 22nd level Great Soul Master could have a 1000-year level soul ring. "My friend, can you tell me how you did it?" Zhuqing said with a very serious face. "The 2nd soul ring is a 1000-year level. If there is really any special method to do it, it will be an epoch-making progress. After all, no matter how powerful a 100-year soul ring is, it cannot be compared with a 1000-year soul ring." Huo Yuhao smiled bitterly and said, "I also stumbled upon 200-year soul beasts fighting in the soul beast forest. In the end, one died and the other was injured. I took this opportunity to kill the injured soul beast and began to absorb the soul ring. At first, the 100-year soul ring was yellow, but after successfully absorbing it, it turned purple. The process of absorbing soul rings is very difficult. I overestimated my own strength. In the end, I can say that I survived a lot of dangers before I successfully absorbed the soul ring and became a great soul master. During the absorption process, the soul ring seemed to have mutated and became a 1000-year soul ring. But I don't know the specific reason. It's strange." Ling Xiao couldn't understand. He had heard of martial soul mutations, but he had never heard of soul ring mutations. "Then did you find anything unusual during the process of absorbing this soul ring?" Ling Xiao asked. Huo Yuhao pondered for a while and said, "The absorption process was extremely difficult. I almost died. Although I succeeded in the end, my body was severely injured. I had to lie in bed for 2 months to recover. After paying such a painful price, I was able to obtain a 1000-year soul ring. It can be regarded as a blessing in disguise." Ling Xiao encouraged Huo Yuhao and then felt a little sorry. If there was really a way to absorb soul rings beyond the level, it would enhance the strength of soul masters to a higher level. It was of great significance to both the spirit hall and all soul masters. Of course, Ling Xiao also felt that this matter was too shocking, otherwise he would not have completely believed Huo Yuhao's words. After getting away with it, Huo Yuhao received 10 gold soul coins and left the spirit hall. In addition to buying a large amount of food with 10 gold soul coins, he also went to the largest blacksmith shop in full city and bought a batch of fine iron before returning to the village. Huo Yuhao did not stay long after returning home. He packed up his daily necessities and left the village with the Blue Silver Emperor. He had to leave. Chapter 16 Healing. Zhu Zhuqing has come here several times in the past 6 months. If Zhu Zhuqing sent family guards to look for Zhu Zhuqing, they would inevitably find this place. For his own safety, Huo Yuhao had to leave here. In the back mountain of the village, there was a dense forest. Although there were no soul beasts in the dense forest, there were some wild beasts. The villagers were generally ordinary people, not soul masters, so they naturally did not dare to go too deep. Huo Yuhao went deep into the dense forest and found a natural cave. After a little decoration, it could barely be used as a place to live. In addition, there was a tributary of a river in the depths of the dense forest, and the water source problem was also well solved. In the cave, Huo Yuhao opened the system mall. Now, he has 100,300 points of luck value, so he can consider opening a treasure chest. He had been suppressing the impulse in his heart before, and decided to open the treasure chest only now, because he did not want to get too many opportunities in a short period of time, which would make his mentality frivolous. Putting aside other reasons, well, Huo Yuhao originally wanted to collect 1 million luck points to directly open a gold treasure chest. Now it seems that this idea is a bit frivolous. Not to mention in a short period of time, even in 3 or 2 years, Huo Yuhao may not be able to accumulate 1 million luck points. System, open the bronze treasure chest 10 times in a row. After making up his mind, Huo Yuhao directly gave the system a command. 10 consecutive draws. Who knows what good things he can get. Huo Yuhao is looking forward to it. 10 bronze treasure chests appeared in the system interface. The first treasure chest opened. Ding, the bronze treasure chest is opened. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Zuanshu Pilasterisk 1 point. Ding, the bronze treasure chest is opened. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Shenghen Pilasterisk 1 point. Ding, the bronze treasure chest is opened. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Zisu Pill asterisk 1 point. Ding, the bronze treasure chest is opened. Congratulations to the host for obtaining recovery pill asterisk 1 point. Ding, the bronze treasure chest is opened. Congratulations to the host for obtaining low-level soul guidance manufacturing method and core array encyclopedia. The system prompts sounded one after another, and items appeared in Huo Yuhao's system backpack one by one. Mysterious water pill, soul rising pill, body tempering pill, and recovery pill. Huo Yuhao looked at the various pills in the system backpack, and a look of surprise appeared on his face. The mysterious water pill and soul rising pill only appeared during the Peerless Tang sect period. If Huo Yuhao and the original novel had not taken the mysterious water pill one after another, he would never have achieved the achievements that followed with his innate level 1 soul power. With his original cultivation speed, it took 5 years to cultivate from level 1 soul power to level 10, which was completely beyond the reach of the word genius. Under the effect of the mysterious water pill, Huo Yuhao's cultivation speed increased significantly, gradually ushering in a transformation, and began to counterattack step by step. In the introduction of the system, the mysterious water pill can nourish the meridians, remove impurities in the soul master's body, and improve the soul master's cultivation talent. And the soul rising pill is definitely a treasure for Huo Yuhao at this stage. Soul masters below level 30 can increase their soul power by about 2 levels, and soul masters above level 30 and below level 40 can also increase their soul power by about 1 level. For soul masters above level 40, the effect will be greatly reduced, but it will also be enough to increase half a level of soul power. Going up, the soul raising pill will not work, and the soul raising pill is the best pill for a soul master to take one in his life. The second pill will be half as effective, the third pill will be half as effective again, and the fourth pill will basically have no effect. The body tempering pill can temper the soul master's body and improve the strength of the soul master's body. It will not be a problem to absorb soul rings above the level. The effect of the recovery pill is healing, and the effect is amazing. After taking it, generally minor injuries will be cured directly, and serious injuries will be reduced to minor injuries. At the critical moment, this is a life-saving magic item. Now, after 10 consecutive draws, Huo Yuhao has obtained a total of 3 soul-raising pills, 3 mysterious water pills, 2 body tempering pills, and 1 recovery pill. However, what surprised him the most was that in addition to the pills, the treasure chest also opened a book low-level soul guidance device manufacturing methods and core arrays. Although Huo Yuhao has not yet come into contact with soul guides, he knows that Huo Yuhao and the original work has a very high attainment in soul guides and his talent is unrivaled on the continent. He just doesn't know how much he has left. 3 months passed in the blink of an eye. Deep in the dense forest, Huo Yuhao was fiddling with a few pieces of metal in his cave. He held a slender carving knife in his hand and was carving something on a piece of metal. In the past 3 months, Huo Yuhao went to Full City to receive the Soul Master subsidy. After becoming a second-ring Great Soul Master, his Soul Master subsidy was also increased from 1 gold soul coin to 10 gold soul coins. It can be said that 10 gold soul coins are completely enough for living expenses, and there are even many left over. Therefore, Huo Yuhao bought some fine iron blocks and tried to make some low-level soul guides. Although Huo Yuhao was only 11 years old when he traveled through time and did not inherit Huo Yuhao's experience in soul guide training, 3 months ago, Huo Yuhao obtained a book low-level Malay soul guide manufacturing methods and core arrays through the system treasure chest. If he could make the Malay soul guide in it, he would definitely be able to arm himself and make himself stronger. Of course, the Soul Master's training is the foundation, and he will not lose sight of the main point. Only when the Soul Master level is strong enough, Huo Yuhao can make and use more advanced soul guides. Facts have proved that Huo Yuhao still has a very outstanding talent for soul guides. In 3 months, he has been able to carve some complete first level soul guide arrays on metal, which is a great progress. This book can be said to be his big trump card in this era, and will play an important role. Although this book only involves the production methods and core arrays of Malay soul guides of level 3 and below, it is enough for Huo Yuhao at present. There may be a chance to open more advanced soul guide books from the treasure chest in the future. Maybe at that time, Huo Yuhao will plan to go to the metal city to buy rare metals for the production of more advanced soul guides, but these are all later. In the past 3 months, Huo Yuhao's soul power level has been raised by 1 level again. Now, he is already a 23rd level Great Soul Master. On this day, Huo Yuhao carried 2 hares and returned to the cave where he lived, but found a line of blood on the way back. Could it be that some villagers went into the dense forest to hunt and were attacked by wild beasts? Huo Yuhao reacted subconsciously. Suddenly, his face changed drastically. Or maybe it was not the villagers, but Zhu Zhuqing who came. Huo Yuhao cleaned up the bloodstains while searching along the bloodstains. Finally, he saw a delicate figure in the jungle not far from the cave where he lived. The old book is about to be finished. The time to write a new book every day is a bit rushed. After checking, I overlooked some details. I have already completed them. It is probably that, after taking away the Blue Silver Emperor, Tang San's luck value decreased, and the host gained luck value. I try to avoid this situation. After the old book is finished at the end of the month, I can concentrate on writing the new book. Chapter 17. Opening treasure chests 10 times in a row. It was Zhu Zhuqing. Huo Yuhao hurriedly walked over to check on Zhu Zhuqing. She had fainted, her clothes were torn and bloodstained. There was a deep wound on her arm, back, and shoulder. She bled too much, and her face was very pale. Huo Yuhao frowned slightly. How could this girl be like this again? Huo Yuhao picked up Zhu Zhuqing by the waist. Although his movements were very gentle, they still affected Zhu Zhuqing's injuries. Even though she was in a coma, her grey face was still tightly frowned, full of pain. Seeing Zhu Zhuqing's miserable appearance, Huo Yuhao couldn't help but feel pity. Among the Shrek 7 devils, Zhu Zhuqing's childhood was undoubtedly very miserable. In order to survive in the hands of her sister, she suffered many disasters at a very young age. Huo Yuhao quickly returned to the cave where he lived and completely sealed it except for the necessary air outlet. A lamp was hanging on the top of the cave. After Huo Yuhao injected soul power into it, it emitted a hazy light. This is a soul guide lamp, which belongs to the first level soul guide device. The production process is very simple and can be made by ordinary first level soul guides. Huo Yuhao put Zhu Zhuqing on his bed and helped her sit up. Then, Huo Yuhao sat cross-legged behind Zhu Zhuqing, put his hands on her back, and began to transmit soul power. He has no healing ability now, and only has some ordinary healing medicine on him. However, Zhu Zhuqing is in a state now. She has lost too much blood and is completely relying on the remaining soul power in her body to maintain her life. Soul power is the foundation of soul masters and has the most basic healing function. So now, Huo Yuhao first injects his soul power into Zhu Zhuqing's body and guides the soul power to heal Zhu Zhuqing. Only by temporarily stabilizing Zhu Zhuqing's internal injuries can he treat her external injuries. Huo Yuhao's movements are very gentle. Because of his strong mental power, he has a high degree of control over his soul power and can control his soul power delicately and subtly. It can be said that, apart from treating spirit masters, the healing method Huo Yuhao has adopted at this moment is the most effective. Night fell, and then the sky was full of white bellies. After a night of treatment, Zhu Zhuqing's injuries finally stabilized. Huo Yuhao stood up, laid Zhu Zhuqing's body on the bed, and then raised his sleeve to wipe the sweat from his forehead. This time the treatment process was very long, and the consumption of his spirit power and mental power was very huge. Even with his current cultivation, he was a little bit overwhelmed. Huo Yuhao moved his stiff body a little, and then took out the potion that Zhu Zhuqing used last time to treat external injuries, and prepared to treat Zhu Zhuqing's wounds. Zhu Zhuqing's body was covered with scars, and the 3 wounds on her back, shoulders, and arms were the most shocking. Although the wounds have stopped bleeding at this moment, it is easy to continue to deteriorate if they are not treated. Huo Yuhao first had to treat these 3 wounds with medicine. These were obviously 3 claw marks, which should be the work of Zhu Zhuqing's sister Zhu Zhuqing's nether spirit cat martial spirit. How cruel she is to use such a heavy hand. Huo Yuhao sighed. Although Zhu Zhuqing was a girl, she was also a ruthless person. If you want to apply medicine to the wound, you must first clean the wound to avoid infection. Now, the clothes on Zhu Zhuqing's wound have been coagulated with blood. Huo Yuhao had to carefully tear open Zhu Zhuqing's dress, then fetch clean water, and use clean cotton cloth to clean the blood on the wound. Although his movements were very gentle, the unconscious Zhu Zhuqing still groaned in pain from time to time. However, for a little girl who was not even 9 years old, Huo Yuhao naturally would not have other thoughts. He was now concentrating on cleaning Zhu Zhuqing's wound. After cleaning the wound, Huo Yuhao took out the medicine and sprinkled it on Zhu Zhuqing's wound. With a painful groan, Zhu Zhuqing couldn't help but turn over, but was directly held down by Huo Yuhao. After spreading the medicine, Huo Yuhao bandaged the wound. Under limited conditions, Huo Yuhao had done the best he could. After treating Zhu Zhuqing's injuries, Huo Yuhao looked at Zhu Zhuqing, who was still in a coma on the bed, and wondered whether he should give her a recovery pill. After thinking about it, he decided not to do it for the time being. It was not that Huo Yuhao was reluctant, but now Zhu Zhuqing's injuries had stabilized. She was in a coma, and he could not feed her the pill. He could not feed her mouth to mouth. In the afternoon, Huo Yuhao was suddenly awakened by a cry of pain. He finished his training and hurried to Zhu Zhuqing. Brother Yuhao. Zhu Zhuqing shouted weakly after seeing the appearance of the person next to her. Seeing Huo Yuhao by her side, she finally felt a little safe. Huo Yuhao took out a small jade bottle, poured out the pill in the bottle, and put it to Zhu Zhuqing's mouth. It's a healing pill. You will get better soon after taking it, Huo Yuhao said. Zhu Zhuqing still trusted Huo Yuhao. Without hesitation, she opened her mouth and swallowed the pill. The moment the elixir entered her body, it turned into a stream of pure energy that flowed into her limbs. Zhu Zhuqing felt the warmth coming from her body, and the tingling sensation made her moan. Zhu Zhuqing was surprised to find that after the elixir entered her body, her internal injuries were recovering at an extremely fast speed, and even the wounds on her body were healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. It was really fast. Zhu Zhuqing was very surprised. She didn't expect Huo Yuhao to have such a powerful elixir. There is naturally a profession called doctor in Douluo Continent, but it mainly treats ordinary people. The physique of soul masters is different from that of ordinary people. Many injuries cannot be solved by ordinary doctors at all, because they involve soul power. Once a soul master is injured, he can only heal himself, or take herbs, or seek help from a healing soul master. Healing soul masters are very rare, so they can be said to be guests of honor in any force. No soul master will take the initiative to provoke a healing soul master unless he can guarantee that he and his relatives and friends will not be injured and will not have to ask for help from a healing soul master. So Zhu Zhuqing was very surprised. With such a powerful healing pill, the value must be very high. And considering Huo Yuhao's current situation, he actually had such a powerful pill. I think he must have gone through a lot of hardships to get it. Thinking of this, Zhu Zhuqing's gratitude to Huo Yuhao became even stronger. She didn't dare to be careless. After feeling that her injuries had improved a lot, she quickly propped herself up, sat cross-legged, and began to guide this energy to heal herself. A quarter of an hour later, Zhu Zhuqing opened her eyes. She was originally seriously injured, but now she felt much better. The external injuries on her body have healed and scarred, and the internal injuries have almost recovered. She only needs to recuperate for a few more days, and she will be able to recover to her peak. Suddenly, Zhu Zhuqing found that her dress was tattered, revealing a large area of skin, and the bandages wrapped by Huo Yuhao. Her face suddenly blushed, and looking at Huo Yuhao, who was busy with his back to her, she quickly took out a clean piece of clothes from the storage soul guide and put them on. While Zhu Zhuqing was healing, Huo Yuhao had already prepared lunch. After seeing Zhu Zhuqing finish her healing, he called her over to eat. Brother Yuhao, thank you, you saved my life again. Zhu Zhuqing said sincerely. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 18 Soul Raising Pill. Zhu Zhuqing, Favorability +1. Zhu Zhuqing, Favorability +1. Current favorability 80. Ding, Zhu Zhuqing's favorability increased by 2. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 2000 luck points. Huo Yuhao smiled and said, you're welcome, let's eat first. Zhu Zhuqing obediently pulled out a stool and sat down, and began to eat. She had been unconscious for a day and a night, and now her stomach was empty, and she was very hungry. At this moment, she gained another 2000 luck points. After 10 years of withdrawal, Huo Yuhao's luck points were only 3000, and now it has increased to 5000. For Huo Yuhao, the opportunity to earn luck points at this moment all depends on Zhu Zhuqing, so it doesn't matter if she is a little slower. After eating and drinking, Zhu Zhuqing took the initiative to clean up the dishes, and Huo Yuhao did not refuse. Brother Yuhao, I have troubled you again. After Zhu Zhuqing cleaned the dishes, she sat in front of Huo Yuhao. Her face was still a little pale, but her complexion was much better than yesterday. It's okay. I'm lonely here alone. I'm glad you can come to me. It's not a bother. Huo Yuhao smiled. If Zhu Zhuqing didn't come to him, how could this favorability be improved, and how could he gain luck points? Next, you can practice here with peace of mind. Don't think about going back. You can't beat your sister Zhu Zhuqing. And Amubei is not here. You have no helper by your side. Every duel is very dangerous. Huo Yuhao deliberately mentioned Amubei, which made Zhu Zhuqing feel a little depressed. She was very disappointed with Amubei, but she always had a glimmer of hope in her heart. That is, Amubei was just forced to leave and change the environment to practice hard and strive to become stronger. He will definitely come back to her in the future. Even if I leave the Duke's mansion, I can't stay with Brother Yuhao. Otherwise, if my sister comes to me, won't it implicate Brother Yuhao? Zhu Zhuqing said in a low voice. Don't worry, as long as we are careful, your sister will have a hard time finding this place. As long as you are alive, you still have a chance to compete. Your talent is stronger than your sister. When you surpass your sister in a few years, it won't be too late to go back for revenge. Huo Yuhao said. Okay, thank you, Brother Yuhao. Zhu Zhuqing decided to stay. Staying with Huo Yuhao is much better than returning to the Duke's mansion and wandering between life and death once a month. But Brother Yuhao, you have to promise me that, if my sister comes to the door, you will leave immediately. I will try to delay for you. Zhu Zhuqing emphasized. Okay. Huo Yuhao agreed. By the way, Brother Yuhao, what kind of elixir did you give me just now? The effect of the medicine is so strong. I was seriously injured, but now I'm almost healed. And did you use your soul power to heal me last night? Zhu Zhuqing asked. This is a kind of elixir I got by accident, called the recovery pill. I also treated your injuries last night. At that time, your condition was too bad, and I could only help you stabilize your injuries first. After the two continued to chat for a few words, Huo Yuhao began to practice, while Zhu Zhuqing continued to heal. Huo Yuhao took out another jade bottle, which contained a soul-raising pill. His soul power level is now level 23, and taking the soul raising pill will have the best effect. After a pill entered his stomach, Huo Yuhao immediately felt a pure soul power spreading out. He quickly entered the state of practice and began to transform the soul power in his body. For his current cultivation, a soul raising pill can increase his soul power by about 2 levels. Moreover, a soul raising pill is obtained by opening a treasure chest with 10,000 luck points. It is very precious to him at this moment, and he cannot waste even a little bit of the medicine. Therefore, Huo Yuhao's practice this time lasted for a whole night until he heard Zhu Zhuqing calling him, and then he woke up. At this moment, Zhu Zhuqing had already prepared dinner, and Huo Yuhao estimated that it was completely dark. He found that his soul power had been raised from level 23 to level 25. In one night, he was able to make such a big progress, surpassing Huo Yuhao's half a year of hard training. This shows the power of the soul raising pill. While the two were eating, Zhu Zhuqing couldn't help asking, "Brother Yuhao, did you make this soul guide lamp yourself?" "Yes, otherwise it would be too dark in this cave, and people's mentality would be affected after staying there for a long time." Huo Yuhao said calmly, as if making a soul guide lamp was an extremely simple thing. In this era, soul guides exist on the mainland, but they are all handed down, and the current soul masters do not know how to make soul guides. Of course, some big families have a lot of soul guides in their hands, mainly storage soul guides. Because Zhu Zhuqing is the second daughter of the Zhu family, she got a storage soul guide, which is a black ring, which she wears on her right hand. Brother Yuhao can also make soul guides? Zhu Zhuqing was very surprised. The method of making soul guides has long been lost, but Huo Yuhao has mastered this magical skill. Zhu Zhuqing felt that Huo Yuhao was more and more mysterious, as he actually mastered the method of making soul guides. Huo Yuhao nodded and asked, "Want to learn? I'll teach you." The method of making soul guides has become extinct in this era, but Huo Yuhao wants to promote soul guides in this era. Of course, he only mastered the method of making first level soul guides at the moment, and he still needs to continue learning. Therefore, of course, he will promote soul guides only after he is strong enough, and he will use this to establish a force. Tang sect hidden weapons, right? In the world of soul masters, soul guides are more powerful. Zhu Zhuqing was somewhat tempted, but she finally smiled bitterly and said, "I'd better work hard to improve my cultivation first. I just want to become stronger now." "That's right." Huo Yuhao said, "I'm just doing some research when I'm free. Soul cultivation is the foundation." Zhu Zhuqing nodded in agreement and asked, "Brother Yuhao, can I know what your soul power level is now? When you were practicing, I could feel that your soul power is stronger than mine." Level 25. Huo Yuhao did not hide it. Level 25. Zhu Zhuqing had already guessed that Huo Yuhao's soul power level should be above level 20, but she didn't expect it to reach level 25. Of course, what Huo Yuhao didn't tell her was that his soul power was only level 23 before yesterday. However, this already made Zhu Zhuqing feel incredible. Is this still something that can be done with the innate level 1 soul power? Zhu Zhuqing even suspected that Huo Yuhao had lied to her at the beginning. In fact, Huo Yuhao himself was a genius. But for Zhu Zhuqing, this was no longer important. She still trusted Huo Yuhao. If Huo Yuhao wanted to harm her, he would not have saved her so many times. He only needed to inform Zhu Zhuqing when Zhu Zhuqing was injured, and he would have received a generous reward. However, Huo Yuhao did not do so. He healed her many times and gave her a precious healing pill. Chapter 19 Zhu Zhuqing's favorability 4. After the meal, the two continued to practice. Huo Yuhao took out 2 small jade bottles and placed one of them in front of Zhu Zhuqing. "Brother Yuhao, my injuries are almost healed. There is no need to waste this precious medicine," Zhu Zhuqing said. She thought the medicine in the bottle was the recovery pill that Huo Yuhao gave her before. Huo Yuhao explained, "This is not a recovery pill, but a Zhuanshu pill, which can nourish the meridians and improve the cultivation talent of soul masters." Hearing this, Zhu Zhuqing was very surprised. Although there are treasures that can provide cultivation talents on the Douluo Continent, they are only owned by some powerful superpowers. Although the Duke's mansion is also very powerful, it does not have such treasures. And now, the medicine called Zhuanshu pill that Huo Yuhao took out is something she has never heard of. It can improve the cultivation talent of soul masters. You can imagine how precious this medicine is. And Huo Yuhao actually took it out like this and wanted to share it with her. No matter how powerful the effect of this Zhu pill is, the fact that Huo Yuhao is willing to take it out made Zhu Zhuqing very moved. However, Zhu Zhuqing could not accept it and shook her head and said, "Brother Yuhao, you are able to take me in and help me heal my wounds, which is already a great favor. This kind of elixir is too precious. I can't accept it." Huo Yuhao was stunned. He didn't expect that he would be rejected after giving away treasures. Zhu pill is a product of 10,000 years later, and only Zhu and Ming sect can refine it. It can be said that it is worth 1,000,000 gold and is very rare. But for Huo Yuhao, as long as he can continue to gain luck points and open the treasure chest, this kind of elixir will be obtained. So, he took out one and gave it to Zhu Zhuqing, hoping to improve Zhu Zhuqing's favorability, but he didn't expect that Zhu Zhuqing would refuse it. Huo Yuhao said, "I still have some of this kind of elixir, enough for my own use. Now the two of us are in this situation, we can only keep each other warm, so helping you is actually helping myself. If your cultivation talent is improved, your strength will become stronger, which will not only shorten the gap with your sister Zhu Zhuqing, but also help you win the competition. It can also help me when I need help. Brother Yuhao, Zhu Zhuqing didn't know what to say. Her fiancé abandoned her and ran away, but Huo Yuhao, whom she had never met before, repeatedly lent a hand when Zhu Zhuqing needed help the most. At this moment, Huo Yuhao's position in Zhu Zhuqing's heart has already surpassed Dame Yubei. Zhu Zhuqing looked at the jade bottle in her hand and wanted to make some promises to Huo Yuhao, but she was too weak now and nothing she said was convincing. So, she could only make a decision in her heart that she must repay Huo Yuhao's kindness in the future. Brother Yuhao, thank you. Zhu Zhuqing said seriously. Zhu Zhuqing. Favorability +4. Ding, Zhu Zhuqing's favorability has increased. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a luck value of 4,000. After taking the pill, practice and try the effect. Huo Yuhao said. He poured the pill in the bottle into his mouth and began to practice. However, he did not take the Zhu pill. The Zhu pill can improve the Soul Master's cultivation qualifications, but for him who is already full of innate soul power at this moment, the effect it can play is minimal. Although, he could also improve his soul power by absorbing the medicinal effect of Zhu pill. But he had already taken a soul rising pill last night, which raised his soul power level to level 25. At this moment, there was still some medicinal effect of the soul rising pill in his body. If he swallowed the Zhu pill now, it would waste some of the medicinal effect. So Huo Yuhao naturally had to take the Zhu pill, but not now. The pill he swallowed was called the tempering pill, which could temper the Soul Master's body, improve the strength of the body, and increase the number of years that the Soul Master could absorb soul rings. Moreover, medicine is 3-point poison. Huo Yuhao took the soul rising pill and improved his soul power by 2 levels, but these 2 levels of soul power were not cultivated by himself, and the soul power was not solid enough. So he wanted to improve the strength of his body through the tempering pill and further consolidate his cultivation. After swallowing the tempering pill, Huo Yuhao immediately felt as if there was a flame burning in his body. The medicinal effect of this pill was too strong. He felt that every inch of muscle in his body was affected. An unbearable pain came over him, and he almost fell down while sitting cross-legged. Well, he had not expected that taking this kind of pill would be so painful. He was distracted for a moment, and was caught off guard. Huo Yuhao quickly adjusted his state, and gritted his teeth to hold on. At this moment, every inch of his flesh and blood seemed to be tempered, and his blood and ki were gradually improving. The pain lasted for a long time and gradually weakened. The reason was probably that Huo Yuhao's tolerance for pain was improving, and his body was gradually becoming stronger. Finally, after a night, a scream woke Huo Yuhao up. Before he opened his eyes, he smelled a foul odor. Huo Yuhao immediately realized that, after taking the body tempering pill, the impurities in the body would be expelled by the cleansing of the tendons and marrow, producing a foul odor. Zhu Zhuqing obviously found the dirt on her body after the training, and it was hard to accept for a while, so she exclaimed, There is a small river next to it. You can go there to take a bath. Huo Yuhao still closed his eyes. He knew that as a girl, Zhu Zhuqing naturally didn't want to be seen in a stinky state. Okay. Zhu Zhuqing agreed. Then, Huo Yuhao heard a flustered sound of footsteps. Take a shower first. I'll be here. Call me if you need anything. Huo Yuhao waited for Zhu Zhuqing to wash her body. He also needed to take a shower. Although Huo Yuhao did not take the mysterious water pill, the tempering body pill would also cause some impurities in the body to be discharged, while strengthening the body. Although there were not many, the stickiness made people feel uncomfortable. The speed of a girl taking a shower was very slow. Huo Yuhao estimated that he had waited for about an hour before he saw Zhu Zhuqing, with her long wet hair, enter the cave. She had changed into clean clothes at this moment. She stood at the entrance of the cave with a slightly red face and a little embarrassed. Her appearance just now could be said to be so embarrassing. However, what Huo Yuhao did also made her heart move. I'm sorry, I forgot to remind you that this would happen after taking the mysterious water pill. Huo Yuhao scratched his head. It was indeed his negligence. It's okay, brother Yuhao, you can go take a shower too. Zhu Zhuqing looked away at the moment and said to Huo Yuhao. Okay. Huo Yuhao left the cave and came to the small river next to him. He jumped into the river. In less than 10 minutes, Huo Yuhao finished his shower and washed his clothes. Then he used his soul power to dry the water and put them on. Chapter 20 Zhu Zhuqing's Favor Ability 5. A year later, in the Zhongluo Empire, in the Xingdao Great Forest, a man and a woman appeared in the outer area. The boy looked less than 13 years old, with a delicate face that was slightly immature. He was wearing clean clothes and his back was straight. He looked full of vigor. But if you look at his eyes, you will be surprised. Because these eyes are deep, like a deep lake, and you can't see the bottom. His eyes are not like those of a teenager, revealing the calmness of an adult. Next to the boy was a beautiful girl with a delicate and beautiful face and a slender figure. She was wearing a black tights and her slim figure had already taken shape. Just looking at her figure, she didn't look like a girl of about 10 years old. Her innocent face and eyes revealed a coldness that kept people away from her. She looked very cold, like an iceberg that could not be melted at all. However, when her eyes fell on the boy, it was as if the ice and snow melted, and a rare faint smile appeared on her cold face. These two people were Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing. In 1 year, Huo Yuhao successively took 2 soul-raising pills, 1 mysterious water pill, and 1 body-tempering pill. With the help of the pills, his soul power level increased rapidly, and was now at level 30. Zhu Zhuqing also took a soul-raising pill, 2 mysterious water pills, and a body-tempering pill. The soul-raising pill increases soul power by 2 levels. The mysterious water pill is more precious than the soul-raising pill. In addition to increasing the speed of cultivation, the huge soul power contained in it can also increase Zhu Zhuqing's soul power by nearly 2 levels. At this moment, her cultivation has also been raised to level 30. Now, the two are in the Stardow Great Forest to obtain the 3rd soul ring. With Huo Yuhao's improvement speed, he naturally broke through to level 30 before Zhu Zhuqing. However, Zhu Zhuqing was not far from level 30 at that time, so Huo Yuhao waited until Zhu Zhuqing reached level 30 before going to the Stardow Great Forest to obtain the soul ring. It takes more time to consolidate cultivation to improve soul power through pills. This is why the two still need a year to obtain soul rings with the help of pills. With Zhu Zhuqing's strength, she could not obtain the 3rd soul ring suitable for herself by herself. After escaping from the Duke's mansion, she could only rely on Huo Yuhao to obtain the 3rd soul ring. It was also very difficult for Huo Yuhao to obtain the 3rd soul ring, because the age of his 2nd soul ring was about 1,500 years ago. After improving his physical fitness through the body tempering pill, his 3rd soul ring at this moment only needs to be more than 5,000 years old to meet his requirements. Huo Yuhao's 1st soul ring is 1,000,000 years old, and it can continuously unlock the power of the seal through the improvement of cultivation. Although it is still a white soul ring at this moment, its actual power has reached 5,000 years. In this year, Huo Yuhao has successively used pills to improve Zhu Zhuqing's soul power. In the joy of improving her cultivation, her favorability towards Huo Yuhao has also increased to 89. Therefore, Huo Yuhao once again obtained 5000 luck points. But when the favorability increased to 89, no matter how hard Huo Yuhao tried, he could never increase it to 90. This time, I came to the Stardew Great Forest to obtain spirit rings, hoping to help Zhu Zhuqing advance to the Soul Master level and improve her favorability. It really doesn't need much, just a little. When the favorability exceeds 90, Huo Yuhao will be able to get the system reward. It's really frustrating to be stuck at this point. In the outer area of the Stardew Great Forest, Huo Yuhao always releases mental detection and shares the movements he has detected with Zhu Zhuqing through mental sharing. Brother Yuhao, your martial spirit is really amazing, Zhu Zhuqing exclaimed. In Huo Yuhao's mental detection sharing, she seemed to be standing in the perspective of God, able to see everything around her in 360 degrees without dead angles. And the speed of things moving also became slow. For the first time, she felt that the world was so clear. The two searched for suitable spirit beasts in the outer area of the Stardew Great Forest. Zhu Zhuqing is a spirit master of the agility attack system, and the source of the third spirit ring is preferably a speed type spirit beast. For example, spirit beasts such as lightning birds and lightning rabbits. There are many spirit beasts that are good at speed, but it depends on luck to find the right age. In the Stardew Great Forest, trees grow in clusters, and many places are covered with thorns and vines. Therefore, they need to cut through the thorns and open up a path on their way forward. Under the effect of shared spiritual detection, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing have tried their best to find possible places to move forward, and they will inevitably encounter some vines that must be cut. Huo Yuhao is holding a slender knife at this moment, which is pitch black, transparent and bright, emitting a cold light. This is a third level soul guide. It can be said that in order to make this melee soul guide weapon, he almost spent more than a year's soul master subsidy. Fine iron can be purchased in the blacksmith shop, but some rare metals are missing. Huo Yuhao also searched for a long time before he gathered enough materials to make this long knife. And this knife is also the most powerful melee soul guide he can make at present. In addition, he also made a dagger for Zhu Zhuqing with scraps. After the long sword and dagger were injected with soul power, they could greatly improve the sharpness of the blade and even achieve the effect of cutting iron like mud. Therefore, the thorny vines blocking their way were all cut off with one sword, and they could not block them at all. Although these two weapons were level 3 soul guides, the production process was not difficult, because they only reached the scope of level 3 soul guides, and their only function was to be sharp, and could be used for fighting. Huo Yuhao held the long sword, and cut off a thick vine. Under the effect of shared spiritual detection, they could see the movements within a radius of 2000 meters, which made it very convenient to find soul beasts. The increase in soul power level greatly improved Huo Yuhao's control over this soul skill, and his spiritual power was much stronger than that of ordinary soul masters of the same level. Therefore, when this soul skill was used by him, the range that could be detected was comparable to that of some high-level soul masters at the level of Soul King. Suddenly, a black light suddenly flashed into the range covered by shared spiritual detection. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing turned around at the same time and looked at a jungle in front of them on the right. Under the dense green leaves, only a dark figure could be seen moving slowly. Although they were far apart, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing could both observe that it was a nether leopard. A nether leopard of about 2300 years old is just the right target for you to obtain the third spirit ring. Huo Yuhao whispered. Zhu Zhuqing nodded, but was a little embarrassed, and said, but with our strength, it is difficult to defeat a spirit beast of about 2300 years old. Although the two lived together for many years, the martial soul that Huo Yuhao showed from beginning to end was the spirit eyes. In Zhu Zhuqing's view, Huo Yuhao, who possessed the spirit detection shared spirit skill, was more like an auxiliary spirit master. And the combat ability of auxiliary spirit masters was not outstanding. Chapter 21 Just give it a try. Zhu Zhuqing herself was only a level 30 agility attack spirit master. With her strength, even with the assistance of Huo Yuhao, it was impossible for her to defeat a spirit beast that was more than 2000 years old. Just give it a try and you'll know. Huo Yuhao smiled. Zhu Zhuqing didn't know where Huo Yuhao got his confidence from, so she suggested again, "Brother Yuhao, why don't we find a spirit beast that is about 1500 years old? The best age for a spirit master's third spirit ring is about 1500 years. Huo Yuhao said, "But you are not an ordinary spirit master now." As he spoke, Huo Yuhao crouched and slowly approached. Zhu Zhuqing had no choice but to choose to believe Huo Yuhao. In her opinion, Huo Yuhao was not a reckless person. She was also moved by the fact that Huo Yuhao chose to take the risk to hunt a spirit beast that had just reached its absorption limit for her. Sometimes, Zhu Zhuqing even thought that it would be better if her fiancé was Huo Yuhao instead of Dame Yubei. Maybe their situation was also very difficult, but Huo Yuhao would never abandon her and run away. The two gradually approached the nether leopard. When the distance was less than 50 meters, the nether leopard obviously discovered their tracks. Roar. The nether leopard roared, its eyes dark and fierce. When it sensed the not so strong spirit power of Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing, it decisively launched an attack. Soul Masters hunt spirit beasts, and spirit beasts eat people. This is the cruel law of the Stardew Great Forest. When spirit beasts encounter powerful humans, most of them will choose to escape at the first opportunity. When they find weak humans, they will also attack and eat them directly. At this moment, the nether leopard roared and pounced on Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing, and its sharp claws slashed, revealing a cold breath. The speed of the nether leopard was so fast that Zhu Zhuqing felt that if it were not for Huo Yuhao's spiritual detection sharing, she would probably have a hard time reacting. The two of them flashed to one side, and Huo Yuhao rushed up with the long knife in his hand. Zhu Zhuqing did not hesitate, and launched an attack at the first opportunity. Facing a soul beast over 2000 years old, and the nether leopard, which excels in speed, they must work together to defeat the other party. Zhu Zhuqing held a dagger in her hand. After injecting soul power, the dagger immediately emitted a bright light, and on the blade, a 1-foot-long blade light was emitted. When the battle broke out, Huo Yuhao did not switch his martial soul immediately, but used his spiritual eyes to fight the enemy. In the past year, both Zhu Zhuqing and he lacked the battles they should have, and now it was just the right time to use this nether leopard to train. The original 1-meter long knife, after injecting soul power, burst out a 3-foot blade light on the blade, which was extremely sharp. Facing the siege of Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing, the nether leopard immediately played the advantage of its speed, and after a few twists and turns, it dodged. It waved its sharp claws, as if it could cut through the air. The long knife in Huo Yuhao's hand collided with the claws of the nether leopard, bringing up a series of sparks. A level 3 soul guide can fully enhance the combat power of a soul master. However, at this moment, even with the sharpness of the long sword, it was unable to cut off the claws of the nether leopard. It only left a shallow white mark on it. Zhu Zhuqing's attack also arrived. As a spirit master of the agility attack system, she was faster than Huo Yuhao. At this moment, her figure flashed and came behind the nether leopard. The dagger in her hand stabbed out as fast as lightning. After a hard collision with Huo Yuhao, the nether leopard almost knocked Huo Yuhao out, but at this moment, it was also at the moment of exhaustion. Zhu Zhuqing's dagger directly cut through the hind legs of the nether leopard. Blood and flesh flew. The claws of the nether leopard were extremely sharp and could easily cut through steel, but it was still a flesh and blood body. At this moment, Zhu Zhuqing stabbed its hind legs with a knife, and blood immediately flowed out. The nether leopard kicked back and kicked Zhu Zhuqing's arm, kicking it out immediately. Roar. The nether leopard roared in pain, turned around, and rushed towards Zhu Zhuqing. Zhu Zhuqing's body fell to the ground. Her body shook violently, and she saw the nether leopard coming at her aggressively. She took a deep breath, supported herself with both hands, and rolled to the side, narrowly avoiding the attack. Zhu Zhuqing dodged the nether leopard's claws, which landed directly on a not so tall tree at the original place. For a moment, wood chips flew everywhere, the tree shook violently, and finally collapsed. Zhu Zhuqing's pupils shrank. If the claw had landed on her just now, she would probably have been cut into 2 pieces by one claw. For her at this moment, it was too difficult to defeat a 2,000-year-old soul beast. Zhu Zhuqing subconsciously glanced at Huo Yuhao and found that the other party had already rushed up and chopped at the head of the nether leopard with a long sword in his hand. However, a black light suddenly erupted from the nether leopard's body, forming a soul power shield that blocked Huo Yuhao's long sword. Huo Yuhao exerted his strength suddenly, and the long sword shattered the soul power shield. At this moment, the nether leopard had already jumped on all 4 hooves and dodged to the side. The nether leopard is a soul beast that excels in speed. It will not confront the enemy head on, but will constantly maneuver and look for opportunities to deliver a fatal blow. Zhu Zhuqing also caught her breath at this moment. Among the 2 yellow soul rings on her body, the first soul ring glowed brightly. Nether thrust. At this moment, Zhu Zhuqing's speed increased by twice, and her figure was so fast that she left a series of after images on the spot. Nether thrust is originally a close range attack soul skill that can increase speed by twice in a short period of time, and then the 10 fingers of both hands grow sharp claws to attack the enemy. However, now because she has the dagger given by Huo Yuhao in her hand, she focuses on the function of this soul skill to increase speed. At this moment, with a sudden increase in speed, she attacked the nether leopard with a series of after images. In just 2 breaths, Zhu Zhuqing stabbed hundreds of knives. Although most of the attacks were dodged by the nether leopard at an astonishing speed, dozens of blood marks were still left on its body. The wounds were not deep, but blood was flowing out, which was a great trouble for the nether leopard. After being injured, its speed would be weakened, which was not conducive to fighting. Huo Yuhao also took this opportunity to launch an attack. His eyes were sharp and flashed with a golden light. Roar! The nether leopard suddenly fell down and let out a painful roar. Its eyes were wide open and it fell to the ground and trembled continuously. When Zhu Zhuqing saw this scene, she immediately understood that it was Huo Yuhao who did it. Although she didn't know how Huo Yuhao did it, she knew that she had seized the opportunity and launched a powerful attack. Huo Yuhao stepped forward and stabbed the nether leopard's abdomen with a knife, leaving a huge cut, and blood mixed with internal organs sprayed out. Zhu Zhuqing quickly dodged and stabbed the nether leopard's throat with the dagger in his hand. Chapter 22. Zhu Zhuqing advances to Soul Master. After being hit hard one after another, the nether leopard finally stopped struggling and fell to the ground, breathing in more than out. Finally, after a purple gorgeous soul ring emerged from the corpse of the nether leopard, Zhu Zhuqing breathed a sigh of relief. Although the battle just now was very short, and she even used only 1 soul skill, it consumed a lot of herself. Especially since she had been holding the dagger in her hand all the time. Although her soul power consumption was not as much as when she used soul power, it was still very consuming for her over a long period of time. During the battle, Zhu Zhuqing experienced the magic of Huo Yuhao's shared spiritual detection. Originally, the 2,300-year-old nether leopard could be said to have completely defeated Zhu Zhuqing, who was only a great soul master in terms of speed, but under the shared spiritual detection, Zhu Zhuqing could clearly capture the movements of the nether leopard and respond to its attacks immediately. Zhu Zhuqing felt that Huo Yuhao's soul skill was completely the nemesis of the agile attack soul master. Under spiritual detection, the speed that the agile attack soul master was proud of would be slowed down and clearly perceived. We actually hunted down a 2,300-year-old nether leopard. Zhu Zhuqing was somewhat incredulous. She and Huo Yuhao were just 2 great soul masters, but they were able to kill a 2,300-year-old nether leopard together. This was simply incredible and completely beyond their current combat power level. Hurry up and recover your status, and then start absorbing spirit rings. I will protect you, Huo Yuhao said. Zhu Zhuqing did not hesitate and sat cross-legged beside the nether leopard and began to meditate to recover her spirit power. She had to recover the spirit power consumed in the battle first, and then start absorbing spirit rings. After all, a 2,300-year-old spirit ring has far exceeded the limit that an ordinary soul master's third ring can absorb, so Zhu Zhuqing must be cautious. Huo Yuhao stayed by Zhu Zhuqing's side, and spiritual detection was always carried out. If other soul beasts broke in here, it would be easy to find them in time and make plans. After a long time, Zhu Zhuqing began to absorb spirit rings. At the beginning, Zhu Zhuqing felt an extremely powerful spirit power impacting her body. A 2,300-year-old soul beast, even if she improved her physical fitness through the body tempering pill, has reached her limit. It is very dangerous for a soul master to absorb soul rings, and this soul ring just reached the limit of what she can absorb. She cannot be careless at all and must concentrate. Huo Yuhao observed Zhu Zhuqing's condition while guarding the surroundings. Fortunately, within the range of 2,000 meters that the spiritual detection can cover, although there are other soul beasts, the highest is only 1,000-year level. Huo Yuhao can easily deal with them. Moreover, most of them did not discover Huo Yuhao and the others. Even if they did, they would not rush up to die because of their own lack of strength. Zhu Zhuqing gritted her teeth, her body trembled, and she endured the pain brought by absorbing the soul ring. If you want to become stronger, these must be experienced, so Zhu Zhuqing has already made preparations. Moreover, she is already level 30 at this moment, and has the experience of absorbing soul rings twice before, so this time she is familiar with it. As long as she can endure the impact of soul power, then she will succeed. Zhu Zhuqing took a long time to absorb the third soul ring. After 2 hours, she still hadn't finished. At this moment, Zhu Zhuqing's smooth forehead was already dripping with sweat, and even the clothes she was wearing were wet with sweat. Her face was pale, and she almost couldn't maintain the cross-legged sitting posture several times, but she finally persevered. What surprised Huo Yuhao the most about Zhu Zhuqing was that her willpower was too strong. As a little girl, she had experienced too many life and death tests at a young age, which made her have a willpower far beyond that of ordinary people. This willpower will also help her become stronger and stronger. After another hour, Zhu Zhuqing finally absorbed the 1,000-year soul ring shining with gorgeous purple from the nether leopard into her body. Then, her whole person's momentum strengthened, and a black cat with a charming figure appeared behind her, and finally merged into her body. With the possession of the martial spirit, Zhu Zhuqing's whole person also changed. Her figure became taller, and her originally slender figure became a little fiery, with slenderness and fullness coexisting. Huo Yuhao stared at Zhu Zhuqing in a daze. Is this the figure that a girl over 9 years old should have? At this moment, Zhu Zhuqing's little face was still pure and tender, but her figure was like a ripe peach, delicate and charming. However, Huo Yuhao thought again that in Douluo Continent 12 years old could no longer be called a child. People on Douluo Continent generally matured early, both physically and mentally. Many ordinary people had already started a family and a career at the age of 12, and started raising their own children at the age of 13 or 14. Although Zhu Zhuqing was not yet 10 years old, the body of a soul master developed faster than that of an ordinary person. Moreover, as a soul master with the spirit of the nether spirit cat, Zhu Zhuqing's body also became hot because of her spirit. Not long after, Zhu Zhuqing let out a long breath, opened her eyes, and saw Huo Yuhao in front of her. She couldn't help but say in surprise, "Brother Yuhao, I succeeded. Congratulations, you have been promoted to Soul Master." Huo Yuhao smiled. Zhu Zhuqing stood up and found that her clothes were soaked with sweat in many places. At this moment, they were tightly attached to her body, which made her feel a little embarrassed. However, she had been with Huo Yuhao for more than a year, so she didn't feel embarrassed. At this moment, she suppressed her discomfort and said, "Brother Yuhao, let's go find a soul beast that suits you now." Huo Yuhao nodded, glanced at the uncomfortable expression on Zhu Zhuqing's face, and said, "Why don't you change your clothes first? I can wait for a while." "Okay." Zhu Zhuqing nodded, then flashed and came to the jungle not far from Huo Yuhao. Under the cover of dense green leaves, she began to change her clothes. Soon, Zhu Zhuqing came out. Her face was still a little flushed, but it was much better. Although she still had some sweat on her body at this moment, which was sticky and uncomfortable, it was much better than wearing a wet dress just now. Brother Yuhao, let's go, Zhu Zhuqing said. Yeah. The two continued to walk deeper into the Stardow Great Forest. Huo Yuhao did not hold out much hope for finding a soul beast that suited him. Just like last time, he was ready for a protracted war. Soul beasts with spiritual attributes were really too rare, and a soul beast that was suitable for Huo Yuhao's third soul ring had to be at least 5,000 years old. The difficulty of the search was greatly increased. Zhu Zhuqing followed behind Huo Yuhao, looking at his back from time to time. She suddenly realized that when she was changing clothes just now, Huo Yuhao's spiritual detection was always on. If so, wouldn't she be completely seen? Chapter 23 Part 1. After Zhu Zhuqing began to absorb the spirit ring, Huo Yuhao interrupted the sharing of spiritual detection, because accepting such a large range of images also requires distraction, and Zhu Zhuqing needs to devote herself to absorbing the spirit ring. After Zhu Zhuqing changed her clothes, she once again obtained Huo Yuhao's spiritual detection sharing. So she didn't know whether Huo Yuhao's spiritual detection was always on during the few minutes when she changed her clothes. Thinking of this, Zhu Zhuqing's face couldn't help but become more rosy, and the coldness in her cold eyes had quietly melted away without her noticing. Huo Yuhao naturally didn't know what Zhu Zhuqing was thinking about, and he was muttering in his heart at this moment. Originally, he thought that after Zhu Zhuqing obtained the third spirit ring, her favorability would be improved. After all, the age of her third spirit ring surpassed the vast majority of spirit masters in the entire continent. It also greatly improved Zhu Zhuqing's strength. However, the system prompt sound that Huo Yuhao had been expecting did not sound. It was inevitable that he was a little disappointed. Zhu Zhuqing's favorability has been stuck at 89 for almost a year, which means that no matter what Huo Yuhao did, his favorability has not been improved. As long as his favorability breaks through 90, Huo Yuhao will be able to get a reward from the system. While looking for a soul beast that suits him, he was thinking about how to make Zhu Zhuqing's favorability break through 90. Suddenly, Huo Yuhao's thoughts were interrupted. At this moment, he and Zhu Zhuqing had entered the middle area of the Xingdao Great Forest. The soul beasts living here are basically 1,000-year-old, and there may even be 10,000-year-old soul beasts. Huo Yuhao planned to find a spiritual soul beast that suits him here. He didn't dare to go deeper, because going deeper would be the mixed area of the Xingdao Great Forest, where powerful 10,000-year-old soul beasts generally live. With his current strength, even with Zhu Zhuqing's help, he would never be able to defeat a 10,000-year-old soul beast. Although spiritual detection can avoid entering the territory where 10,000-year-old soul beasts live as much as possible, it is very likely to be discovered. Huo Yuhao had no confidence in escaping the attack of the 10,000-year-old soul beast. In the central area, most of the soul beasts are between 3,000 and 9,000 years old. From time to time, a 10,000-year soul beast will appear. Most of them live in the mixed area and come to the central area to find food. Huo Yuhao took Zhu Zhuqing and carefully searched within the scope of the central area. Suddenly, Huo Yuhao's steps paused. He looked straight ahead. Under the intentional control of mental detection, the scene in the front area became clearer. At this moment, Huo Yuhao could even capture the trajectory of a bird vibrating its wings hundreds of meters away. However, his target was naturally not a bird, but an ape soul beast more than 3 meters tall. This soul beast had white and gold hair all over its body and a strong body, especially its eyes, which seemed to be covered by thick fog and could not be seen clearly. On its body, there was a dreamy light, as if it could refract light and could cover its figure very well. Zhu Zhuqing whispered, "Brother Yuhao, this is a holy illusion demon ape, a rare spiritual attribute soul beast, with an age of 5,400 years. As the second daughter of the Duke's mansion, Zhu Zhuqing has received education since childhood, and has mastered a lot of information about soul beasts. Naturally, she can recognize the name of the Holy Illusion Demon Ape in front of her, and its age at a glance. What Huo Yuhao didn't expect was that this time he would get the soul ring so smoothly. It didn't take much time to find a soul beast that suits him. Zhu Zhuqing looked at the eager look in Huo Yuhao's eyes, and her face changed. She asked, "Brother Yuhao, you are not planning to take it, are you?" Huo Yuhao nodded and said, "You can see that my second soul ring is a 1000-year level, reaching the age of the third soul ring of an ordinary soul master. So my third soul ring should also reach the age of the fourth soul ring of an ordinary soul master. Isn't this too much?" Zhu Zhuqing couldn't help asking. A level 30 soul master wants to absorb a soul beast that is more than 5000 years old. This is simply a fantasy for her, and it is completely a suicidal behavior. However, this soul master is Huo Yuhao, which inevitably makes Zhu Zhuqing a little suspicious. He was able to absorb a 1000-year soul ring at level 20, so it is not impossible for Huo Yuhao to absorb a 5000-year soul ring at level 30. In this year of getting along, Zhu Zhuqing saw too many magical things in Huo Yuhao. Especially when the two of them first sparred. Huo Yuhao showed 2 soul rings, one white and one purple, which really made Zhu Zhuqing feel incredible. It seems that nothing is impossible for Huo Yuhao. First, he took out the elixir that can improve soul power, improve cultivation talent, and improve physical strength, and he can also make soul guides, and he has a soul ring ratio that ordinary people don't have. These bizarre things made Zhu Zhuqing feel that they were not real, but they really happened in front of her. Therefore, Zhu Zhuqing can no longer look at Huo Yuhao with the eyes of an ordinary person. "Brother Yuhao, do you have the confidence to defeat it?" Zhu Zhuqing asked. Huo Yuhao shook his head and said, "No, with my current strength, it's difficult, but with your help, maybe it can be done." Zhu Zhuqing couldn't believe that her strength actually gave Huo Yuhao such confidence that he dared to hunt a soul beast that was more than 5000 years old. "What do you need me to do?" Huo Yuhao's trust also made Zhu Zhuqing more confident. Before, he had doubted that the two of them could kill the 2300-year-old nether wolf, but with the two of them working together, the process was not difficult. And now, facing the 5400-year-old holy magic ape, she also had the confidence to try. "Let's get closer first," Huo Yuhao said. The two gradually approached the location of the holy magic ape, and when they were less than 20 meters away, at Huo Yuhao's signal, Zhu Zhuqing also stopped moving forward. Huo Yuhao whispered, "We will first consume the power of the holy magic ape by moving around, and look for opportunities to hit it hard. Don't be afraid, I'll take care of everything." Hearing this, Zhu Zhuqing was stunned for a moment. She didn't expect Huo Yuhao's tactical arrangement to be so simple. In this way, can they really defeat such a powerful soul beast? Be careful, the Holy Illusion Demon Ape has a strong spiritual power, and can use it to create illusions and even change the surrounding scene. So I will continue to release spiritual detection sharing. Huo Yuhao added. "Okay. Go." Huo Yuhao roared, and rushed forward first. The Holy Illusion Demon Ape has a strong spiritual power, but its combat power is not strong. Huo Yuhao is confident in his spiritual power, and believes that under his spiritual detection, the Holy Illusion Demon Ape's illusions will not work at all. So they still have a great chance of killing this demon ape. Chapter 24, Soul Fusion Technique. The moment Huo Yuhao took action, Zhu Zhuqing also hurriedly followed, attacking the Holy Illusion Demon Ape from the left and the right. At this moment, a brilliant rainbow of light emerged from the Holy Illusion Demon Ape's eyes, covering the area within a radius of dozens of meters. For a moment, Zhu Zhuqing felt that the surrounding scene had changed drastically, as if she had come to another space. The next moment, Zhu Zhuqing's vision suddenly became wider, and the surrounding scene collapsed. The Holy Illusion Demon Ape and Huo Yuhao appeared at the same time. Mental detection sharing. After the Holy Illusion Demon Ape released the illusion, Huo Yuhao decisively reduced the range of the shared mental detection, so that it could detect within 100 meters. The reduction in range makes the effect of mental detection more detailed. Huo Yuhao discovered that the illusion of the Holy Illusion Demon Ape was just a simulation to change the surrounding illusion, and the range was not large. As long as the mental power was stronger than it, the illusion could be easily seen through. Huo Yuhao was a time traveler, and his mental power was different from that of ordinary people. Although he was only level 30 now, his mental power was comparable to that of an ordinary soul emperor. Although the 5,400-year-old soul beast was powerful, it was still much inferior to the soul emperor. Huo Yuhao was invincible when he wielded his long sword, but when he slashed the Holy Illusion Demon Ape, he could only leave a shallow blood mark and could not really hurt it. The third level soul guide can fully support the battle of the Soul Lord, but facing the Holy Illusion Demon Ape in front of him, it was still a bit difficult. The Holy Illusion Demon Ape waved its arms, like two iron rods, so hard that it could cut the trees around it. Although it is good at mental power, its physical strength is also very strong, and its attack power far exceeds that of Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing now. The two used flexible movement to constantly wander around the Holy Illusion Demon Ape, and from time to time they delivered heavy blows, leaving blood marks on the Holy Illusion Demon Ape. However, after the battle broke out, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing fell into a disadvantage in an instant. Zhu Zhuqing had just been promoted to Soul Lord, and her strength in all aspects had been greatly improved, but at this moment, she felt powerless in the face of the Holy Illusion Demon Ape. Soul shock. A sharp golden light flashed in Huo Yuhao's eyes. Roar! The Holy Magic Ape screamed and covered his head with his arms. At this moment, he felt as if his head was hit by a heavy hammer, and the pain was splitting. However, Huo Yuhao, who launched the attack, also felt very uncomfortable. Although his mental power was stronger than that of the Holy Magic Ape, it was not much. When the soul shock hit the Holy Magic Ape, the Holy Magic Ape's mental power also rebounded and injured him. Huo Yuhao forced himself to endure the discomfort in his head and slashed the Holy Magic Ape's waist with a knife, leaving a deeper blood mark than the previous attack. The golden fur was cut off, and the flesh and blood flew. The Holy Magic Ape angrily punched out and smashed Huo Yuhao out. Nether world slash. Zhu Zhuqing shouted, and the third soul ring on her body shone brightly, using the dagger in her hand to slash this attack. Nether world slash is Zhu Zhuqing's third soul skill, a powerful single target attack skill. This attack was the strongest attack Zhu Zhuqing could unleash at the moment, and with the help of a level 3 soul guide, its power was comparable to that of an ordinary soul master. This strike cut off a large piece of flesh and blood from the Saint Illusion Demon Ape's shoulder. Soul shock. Huo Yuhao launched another attack. This time, he used all his strength, and even completely dispersed the colorful light emanating from the Saint Illusion Demon Ape's eyes. Obviously, Huo Yuhao's attack caused great damage to the Saint Illusion Demon Ape's mental power, making it impossible for him to maintain the release of the illusion. Although under Huo Yuhao's mental detection, the Saint Illusion Demon Ape's illusion has not worked. The illusion dissipated. Huo Yuhao directly switched his martial soul. Roar. A loud tiger roar sounded, and behind Huo Yuhao, a white tiger with white fur and black stripes appeared. After switching from the Spirit Eyes martial soul to the white tiger martial soul, the aura emanating from Huo Yuhao became even stronger, and the aura of the King of Beasts raged throughout the venue. Huo Yuhao opened his mouth, and a milky white light wave shot out, hitting the Saint Illusion Demon Ape's chest. White Tiger's first soul skill, White Tiger Fierce Light Wave. Boom. A burnt black mark was left on the Saint Illusion Demon Ape's chest, and the fur there was completely blown apart. White Tiger. Zhu Zhuqing exclaimed, staring at Huo Yuhao in amazement. Just a moment ago, she found that the mental detection shared with her by Huo Yuhao had been interrupted, and the next moment Huo Yuhao used the White Tiger martial soul's iconic soul skill, White Tiger Fierce Light Wave. Brother Yuhao actually has twin martial souls. Zhu Zhuqing was extremely shocked. She saw that Huo Yuhao still had 2 soul rings, one white and one purple. Did the White Tiger martial soul actually get 2 more soul rings? Zhu Zhuqing was puzzled. Huo Yuhao was not from the Zingluo royal family, so why could he have the White Tiger martial soul and a twin martial soul? She was puzzled. On the Douluo Continent, twin martial souls might not appear again in 100 years. There were even fewer records of successful cultivation. However, Huo Yuhao had obtained spirit rings for both of his spirits at the Great Spirit Master stage, which was a bit of a waste. Zhu Zhuqing felt sorry, but now she didn't have the heart to think too much. She burst out with all her strength and attacked the Holy Illusion Demon Ape with Huo Yuhao. After being hit hard one after another, the Holy Illusion Demon Ape seemed to be completely enraged. At this moment, it seemed particularly crazy. Its long arms were waving like two iron rods, which were extremely powerful. Bang! Zhu Zhuqing was swept away and hit hard against a thick tree, with blood flowing from the corners of her mouth. Zhu Zhuqing was injured. Huo Yuhao's situation also seemed more critical. Although the white tiger was a strong spirit, he was only at the Great Spirit Master level now, and he could not defeat the Holy Illusion Demon Ape with a strong attack spirit. This was too difficult. Brother Yuhao, let's retreat first. Zhu Zhuqing came to Huo Yuhao's side. At this moment, she already believed that she and Huo Yuhao could not defeat this spirit beast together. The gap between them was too big. Even though both of them were outstanding figures among the soul masters of the same level, they could not overcome such a big gap. Maybe we still have a chance. Huo Yuhao stretched out his hand and grabbed Zhu Zhuqing's wrist. Zhu Zhuqing was stunned and wanted to break free, but the next moment, she suddenly felt that her soul power seemed to have merged with Huo Yuhao's soul power. This is. Zhu Zhuqing was shocked. Soul power is compatible martial soul fits, martial soul fusion skills. Zhu Zhuqing reacted and realized that Huo Yuhao's martial soul was the white tiger, and her martial soul was the nether spirit cat. These two martial souls are very likely to have martial soul fusion skills. Although the white tiger soul master and the nether spirit cat soul master are not 100% able to have martial soul fusion skills, as long as they cultivate tacit understanding from a young age and fully trust each other, most of them will have martial soul fusion skills. Chapter 25, Soul Fusion Technique, Mythical World White Tiger. Huo Yuhao smiled. He was just guessing, and was not sure that he and Zhu Zhuqing could really release the martial soul fusion technique. He was also surprised that the two souls were connected at this moment. The martial soul fusion technique is a powerful skill, at least it can be released between two soul masters. And the power that can be released by two soul masters is greater than the sum of 1 and 1. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing could not defeat the Holy Illusion Demon Ape when they fought together, but it was not certain if they released the martial soul fusion technique. After a brief hesitation, Zhu Zhuqing looked at Huo Yuhao and nodded vigorously. Then, the two of them moved away from the Holy Illusion Demon Ape to buy enough time to release the martial soul fusion technique. They were seen hugging each other, and for a moment, the soul power seemed to be two rivers converging together. Behind Huo Yuhao was a golden white tiger soul seal, and behind Zhu Zhuqing was a black nether spirit cat soul seal. The two soul seals merged together, and the next moment, gold and black intertwined and mixed, and the light was bright. Roar. A roar resounded through the mountains and rivers, and a huge monster appeared in the surging waves of soul power. This was a huge tiger, with white fur and golden domineering stripes. On its body, there was a pair of huge wings, one white and one gold. Martial soul fusion skill, nether white tiger. This nether white tiger was 5 meters long, with a wingspan of 8 meters. It was even bigger than the holy magic ape. Its wings vibrated, stirring up a fierce gust of wind, and it flew towards the holy magic ape not far away. Its sturdy forehooves fell from the sky, pressing the holy magic ape directly to the ground, and its ferocious tiger mouth opened wide. A huge soul power light wave suddenly appeared, blasting a huge blood hole in the chest of the holy magic ape. With just one blow, the nether white tiger severely injured the holy magic ape. The nether white tiger is a powerful soul beast that only exists in legends. Its bloodline is extremely powerful. Even if it is only 10,000 years old, it is enough to compete with the fierce beasts of 100,000 years. However, even in the Xingdao Great Forest, there is no trace of this soul beast. At this moment, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing used their martial soul fusion skills to reproduce this powerful soul beast. It was extremely powerful and instantly suppressed the holy magic ape. The nether white tiger waved its white tiger paw and gave the holy magic ape a big fight. The sharp tiger claws tore off a piece of flesh and blood gushed out. No matter how the holy magic ape struggled, it could only be like a lamb, to be slaughtered at this moment, unable to get rid of the suppression of the nether white tiger. Roar. The holy magic ape let out a furious roar, but the next moment, the nether white tiger lowered its head and bit its neck, completely tearing its throat and shattering its bones. Suffering such a heavy blow, the holy magic ape finally stopped struggling, and the powerful aura on its body gradually weakened, and its vitality gradually faded. When a purple soul ring emerged, the nether white tiger also staggered, and its huge body dissipated directly. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing appeared and fell to the ground. They were consuming a lot of soul power at this moment. In the previous battle, the two had already consumed a lot. This time, it was their first time to use the martial soul fusion technique. They were not proficient in the application of soul power, and their soul power was consumed in just a moment of fighting. Fortunately, they had killed the holy magic ape and completed the goal of this trip. Huo Yuhao stood up and helped Zhu Zhuqing sit up beside him. Brother Yuhao, I didn't expect that we could perform the martial soul fusion technique. Zhu Zhuqing's face was pale, but at this moment, she couldn't hide the excitement in her heart. Being able to perform the martial soul fusion technique undoubtedly made the relationship between the two closer, and also completely raised their combat power to a higher level. The martial soul fusion technique, the nether white tiger, will be a powerful means for the two of them to fight against each other in the future, and can be used as a trump card. Zhu Zhuqing was very surprised. Even when she was with Dame Yubei before, the two had never had a situation where their soul power was fused. This means that the tacit understanding between her and Dame Yubei is not enough to support the use of the martial soul fusion technique. Zhu Zhuqing remembered that a year ago, her sister Zhu Zhuqing and the eldest prince of the Xingluo Empire, Davis, also began to merge their souls and were trying to use the martial soul fusion technique, but they did not succeed in a short time. Zhu Zhuqing and Huo Yuhao completed it on their first try. Brother Yuhao and I actually have such a high degree of martial soul compatibility. Could it be that Brother Yuhao is the most suitable person for me? After the martial soul awakened, Zhu Zhuqing and Dame Yubei signed a marriage contract and will get married in the future. There are 3 princes in the Xingluo royal family, the eldest prince Davis, the third prince Dame Yubei, and the second prince has never been mentioned, or he has lost the qualification to compete early. However, the Duke's Zhu family has only 2 daughters. If the second prince also has a strong talent for cultivation, then there will even be a battle between him and Dame Yubei to decide who Zhu Zhuqing will sign a marriage contract with. The second prince had never appeared, most likely died young, so Zhu Zhuqing had no choice but to sign a marriage contract with Dame Yubei. Now, Huo Yuhao not only possessed the white tiger martial soul, but had also performed a martial soul fusion technique with Zhu Zhuqing, which made the girl suspicious. Could it be that the big family Huo Yuhao was talking about was the Xingluo imperial family? The ages didn't match either. Huo Yuhao was 1 year younger than Dame Yubei, so he couldn't be the second prince of the Xingluo imperial family. Could it be that Huo Yuhao was the illegitimate son of the Xingluo emperor? If so, perhaps the person she was really suitable for signing a marriage contract with was not Dame Yubei, but Huo Yuhao. Thinking of this, Zhu Zhuqing looked at Huo Yuhao with a hint of shyness and weirdness. Huo Yuhao nodded. Being able to perform a martial soul fusion technique with Zhu Zhuqing was also a surprise to him. Because his real martial soul was the mirror pupil, and the white tiger was just a replica of the soul seal. I didn't expect that he could also have martial soul fusion technique like this. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing have lived together for more than a year, under the same roof, and in the same cave. After a year of getting along, the two have already had a tacit understanding. Sometimes the two don't even need to communicate, and they can understand each other's meaning with just a glance. So it's not surprising that the martial soul fusion skills appear when the martial souls are compatible. Although there are too many questions in her mind, such as how can Huo Yuhao have twin martial souls? But Zhu Zhuqing also knows that now is not the time to ask these questions. She sits cross-legged and begins to meditate to reduce her soul power. This place is always in the Stardao Great Forest, full of dangers. A powerful soul beast may emerge at any time and attack them. Therefore, it is necessary to restore soul power as soon as possible to deal with the crisis that may occur at any time. Huo Yuhao is also taking the time to restore his soul power because after the soul ring appears, it can only exist for an hour at most before it dissipates. So Huo Yuhao has to hurry up to adjust his state and absorb this soul ring. Half an hour later, the paleness on Zhu Zhuqing's face weakened a little, and her soul power has recovered more than half. Brother Yuhao, please absorb the spirit ring as soon as possible. I will protect you, Zhu Zhuqing said. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.